Welcome back to the Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year 2018, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. The main event, the final entree, the last shelf. Brian, keep going. Help me out here.
The big cheese, the big kahuna, the birthday boy, the birthday girl.
Neva, a few from you, please.
The salty bagel.
The twisted couch.
The fat hippo.
Whoa, the board game that never ends.
The Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year 2018. I have in front of me 47 games, all of whom are vying for the top spot, the most coveted award in gaming history. Hideo Kojima once said that he would sell his firstborn child to have a spot in the Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year, and he got it.
He did?
He did in 2015?
Yeah, and now he's and now he's one child less.
Now he's one child less. We accepted his sacrifice, and so, Rockstar, maybe you should have got in touch, is all I'm saying.
We'll take your baby.
We'll take your baby. We'll eat a child.
Yeah, known child eaters, the Let's Fight a Boss crew. What time is it, John?
Well, Brian, I'm glad you asked, because it's Demon O'Clock. That's what me and Brian say now whenever we want to get, serious.
Yeah.
It's kind of new. We're still workshopping it, but I think what do you think of it?
It's bad.
Then my other thing is I'm trying to work in Home Alone quotes, so I'll be like, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
Well, now you should save that save that until someone's cut something you loved.
Don't worry, I've got a few of them.
Okay, so I've explained this before, but the way it's going to work, we're just going to start at the top. I'm going to pick one person. They're going to cut a game. Another person can dispute that if they want and let the argument happen there, and we're just going to keep cutting and cutting and cutting until we have the Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year. We have 47 games, and I'm going to read them out in alphabetical order. A Way Out. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is the Patreon voice I use sometimes. Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Switch. We should note as well that, we're okay with putting, re-releases and, up-reses into this. It will count against the game, so it's probably not going to get very far. But basically, if a game had an impact on us in 2018 and it wasn't released in 2015, if it was kind of around 2018, even some late games from 2017 that we didn't have a chance to include in our Game of the Year's award last year, we'll include them because, otherwise those games never get a look in, which kind of sucks.
We have a loose kind of schedule of 13 months of a year, so it kind of goes from December 2017 to present.
Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, Blossom Tales, Burnout Paradise HD, Capcom Fighting Bundle, Celeste, Deltarune, Detroit, Detention, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Dragon Quest XI, Fist of the North Star, God of War, Gris, Hollow Knight, Iconoclast, Into the Breach, Kirby Star Allies, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Minute, Life is Strange Farewell, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Tennis, Monster Hunter World, Octopath Traveler, Owlboy, Pocket Rumble, Red Dead Redemption 2, Save Me Mr. Taco, September 1999, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Spider-Man, Taikei no Tatsujin, The Messenger, The Missing, The Quiet Man, Vampire, WarioWare Gold, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Yakuza 6, Yokai Watch Blasters, I can't believe I fucked up the last one! Yoku's Island Adventure. Fuck.
I thought we were meant to get rid of Xenoblade Chronicles too.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, we did that last year.
And cut.
Okay, so there it is, number 47.
Okay, no. So we're going to go through them. That's 46 we got now.
46.
See, we're doing great.
This happened last year too, where we had a number and then we changed the number. So it's 46 games this year.
46, which I think is still the most we've ever had to cut.
That's a whole lot of game.
Okay, and without further ado, I would like to hand the sacrificial knife.
Oh wait, there's one game I actually can add because it came out at the end of 2017. And it goes in the Y's and it's ukulele.
Shit, okay.
Okay.
And guess what?
No, don't give anything away. Let me believe that ukulele is going to make it to top 3. Come on, Yuka. Come on, Laylee. I believe in both of you. Okay. Are we now good to go? Because these are our games locked in. There's no going back from this.
Yeah.
Eve, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Then I would like to begin the ceremony, the blood slaughter, the massacre, by handing the first cut to Neve. Neve, make the first incision.
I'm gonna go with Pocket Fighter Rumble.
No.
Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you talking about? You think out of 46 games that Pocket Fighter Rumble is anywhere close to the worst one? That beautiful, funny, charming game.
I just picked it at random, okay? Let's pick another one at random.
Yeah,
and
let's
see
pick
if-
another one. How about fucking Tomb Raider?
No, oh my god.
47 games. We have,
47,
we
okay.
have maybe this.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
no, don't do that.
ukulele.
Yeah, cut that shit. Okay, Ukulele came out on the Switch on the 14th of December 2017, so it fits in our timeline.
Okay.
I bought this game over the summer, so here we go. This game is not fun to play.
Is that your notes?
And then here's
Thank you for listening to my video.
and then here's my other point about this game. Video games are really hard to make.
Okay.
This video game is proof of that. Because this game is struggling. Okay, 47.
47. Congratulations, Ukulele. You are gone. Okay. I was gonna go to Brian, but he messed my order up. Fine.
That's fine. You can go, Neve.
Yeah, okay, Neve. Now you pick a game.
Okay. I mean, The Quiet Man.
I'm shocked you didn't go straight there, honestly. I mean, part of me wants to argue because, like,
There are other games I actually want to hold on to before The Quiet Man.
because it was such a big thing for us. Like, we got excited about The Quiet Man. We played The Quiet Man. Like, Brian, we had a good time playing The Quiet Man, regardless of what was happening on screen.
I had more fun playing The Quiet Man than other games on this list. It stays for now.
But I also,
No, I want it to stay for now. There's
like, I'm not disputing it. Are you disputing Neve's pick?
Okay, let me offer you Save Me, Mr. Taco.
I think Save Me, Mr. Taco is nicer qualities than The Quiet Man, despite being...
I always think the start of this is going to be hard or easy, and it's not.
I've got another game here that I don't like and I want to get rid of.
Okay, well, wait,
But then
wait
you're
your damn
cutting too.
turn,
Yeah,
Brian.
wait your turn.
Then, okay.
Like, The Quiet Man. Let's get rid of The Quiet Man.
I like that game.
Oh my god. Okay.
I like it more than other games.
Okay, fine. A Way Out. We'll cut the Way Out.
Okay, what's bad about A Way Out?
Why is that the second worst game out this year?
A Way Out, like, is every prison cliche you've ever seen in a movie or TV show done worse. It is just nonsensical in every way. The prison uniform consists of shoes with laces and a belt. It's in a seemingly an American prison, even though the prison guards are dressed kind of old style English Bobby-esque.
Okay, Neve, you have to tell us the reasons you want to cut this game. Like, what are the bad things about it?
It has done zero research. The characters are completely unlikable and cliched. Everything about it you could guess from the get-go.
Okay, but, like, we need bad qualities, like reasons.
These are the bad qualities. We're cutting A Way Out. The Oscar of video games.
Yeah,
fuck the Oscars. Congratulations to Way Out, our 46th game of the year. Okay, coming up to me, and let me see here. Okay, I think I have got to go. I've had a chip on my shoulder this entire fucking year, and it is with Fist of the North Star Fallen Paradise. This game. Do you ever play a game and it's like you move around in it, and you're like, "Oh, I spent money on this."
Yeah, The Quiet Man.
But Fist of the North Star was a €50 game, and I hated how it felt from the get-go. I thought it was really bad. The way you beat enemies is you use one of Kenshiro's, pressure point techniques. Takes like 5 seconds, a 5-second cutscene for every enemy. You can fight up to 8 enemies on screen at once. It is not fun, but where it became a real heartbreaker for me is this is from one of my favorite development teams in the world, the Yakuza team, and they really let me down with this one. I thought this was a subpar product from them. I thought it completely lacked the charm of any of the Yakuza games. Like, even something like Dead Souls. I know I can play Dead Souls, and that game looks shit. And like someone just verbally explained the control method to me once, and I got angry. But I bet those cutscenes are a hoot. I've really tried to like this game. It was not good, and I'm really disappointed in them. And this is like the only Yakuza game, the only game from them that I've ever played and been like, this is bad. And that hurt me personally. So I'm really happy to cut Fist of the North Star.
You hurt John.
Yeah, hurt my feelings. Brian.
Luigi's Mansion 3DS. This is a port of the GameCube launch title, Luigi's Mansion, that came out in October of this year. It is a very frustrating game to play. It is enjoyable in some parts, but I found the controls were a step back from Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, despite this supposed to be being an improved remake port. And the second half of the game is a tedious hunting quest of 50 boos all around the mansion that are in triggered locations, and it's purely there to pad out the length of the game.
Sure.
Not a fun game overall. I don't recommend it.
Okay, I think that's fair. That is our 44th game of the year. Neve.
I am going to go with September 1999.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, there was stuff I liked about this game, and I'm a big fan of the channel who created it. I think it's 96 D-Make or something. I think they're really talented.
Yeah. And
I think, like, I hate making this kind of distinction, but I feel like as an art piece, it's interesting. But, like, as a horror game, it didn't scare me at all. Like, it was very well made, but if it's kind of failing at its primary purpose, it's very hard to make any kind of argument for it.
Yeah, like there are some minor parts of this game that are very successful. Like visually, it's very successful, but
best VHS filter I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, but it's very disappointing to play at the end.
When you realize where it's going, which is kind of nowhere, it's like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, this one might be a little controversial, but I think I'm going to cut The Messenger. That is the game that I tried hardest with all year because, like, I kept hearing this stuff where it's like, oh, you gotta play The Messenger, this crazy fucking thing in The Messenger, it's crazy. How are we doing with spoilers on the, like, do you think this is the...
Yeah, this is the space for spoilers.
Okay, look.
We will have in the description of this podcast spoilers for any game we've played this year.
Yeah, okay, from this point on, we're going to be spoiling the majority, like, if it's a big story thing for, like, a big game that recently released, maybe we'll tiptoe around it a little more. But, like, for this thing, I can't talk about my problem with this game without getting into a spoiler. But the thing is, I don't think the spoiler is actually that impressive. So, you're playing through this game. It looks like a Nintendo game. It's a throwback to Ninja Gaiden. I've heard this game praised a lot for its game design, especially its cloud step mechanic. I think the cloud step mechanic is really cool. I don't think they built a game that's very interesting to navigate around it. I think the level design is super basic. I think the boss design is super basic. There was nothing that got me excited about this, but the reveal comes about 8 hours in when you beat what seems like the final boss, and he throws you forward in time, and you go from a game that looks like a Nintendo game to a game that looks like a Super Nintendo game. Great pixel art. Fantastic pixel art. But it plays the same. It's just turns into a Metroid game, and I like Metroid games, but it's like it goes from being very like iterative of one kind of game to being a very iterative of another without really doing much. The humor didn't really land with me. This game was not for me, and I failed to see I failed to see why anyone got excited about it, and so I think this to me, I'm definitely pretty comfortable cutting at 42.
Okay. See you, Messenger. Get the message. It's my go.
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna look at games I haven't played, but I just want to like gauge your opinion on them.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Okay, one of them is Yoku's Island Adventure.
I'd be pretty happy to cut that.
Oh, before The Quiet Man.
Yoku's Island Adventure did nothing for me.
Okay, there it is. Do you want to say something real quick about it?
A little eulogy. There's cool shit about this game. You're a little beetle. You push a ball around, and then you drop it down into like you'll fall into like a hole, but then in the whole, it's like a pinball game, and so the your like controller, the shoulder buttons are that, and you can still move. Like you still have, imagine Mario, except if Mario could turn into a pinball at any point, and you could bounce him around. That's what it's like. Super cool idea. Only problem is I realized I fucking hate pinball.
Fair.
So I am not the audience for this game. I think you're going to see this game come up a lot more places. I think if someone is into pinball, this is going to be a game. Because like it's well made, it's cool, and like it's charming. It has its own nice little art style. It makes me feel nothing. And so I can't really argue. So if you're, Ryan, if you're asking which one should you cut, I'm not going to dispute you on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna cut Yoku's Island Adventure. That is number 41.
Number 41. Okay, now we're kind of weeding out the chaff here.
Yeah.
Neve.
I'm gonna cut Life is Strange Farewell.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
Not because it's bad, but like it's not bad. It's cute, but it kind of has what I don't like about it. It was an extra episode that was included in the bonus edition of Life is Strange Before the Storm, so you had to pay extra to get it originally. You could buy it separately as well, but like I didn't really like that aspect of it because it really wrapped up. Well, it didn't wrap up, it's been wrapped up, but it kind of gave some context for Chloe and Max's relationship as children. It dealt with them before Max moved away and before Chloe's father died, and it gave all context for that, but it wasn't really, I hate to say this, a game per se. It didn't have any of those like gameplay moments. It was a tone piece,
right,
that kind of set a mood for those characters, and as a fan it was really nice to play. But as a super prequel to a prequel of like to a prequel game of a prequel, it didn't bring anything new. It just brought another snapshot for fans of the series,
right,
to enjoy.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so like it's really good. If you like the game, you'll enjoy it, and there was really sweet moments. And it dealt with like a lot of stuff where I didn't have context before, like kind of Max seemed like a dickhead for leaving her friend and kind of not communicating it. It kind of did her point of view a little bit more, and it kind of gave more context to those situations, which is always nice. But as a standalone game, it doesn't do anything.
Sure, I think that's fair. Okay, what number is that?
Number 40.
Number 40. It is my choice for 39. And at 39, I think I gotta eliminate Iconoclast.
It's a pixel platformer you were playing.
This is a pixel platformer I was playing, and it seems like it has some cool stuff going on. Like I did enjoy my time with this game, but I've played about an hour and a half, and I am going to play more. Like I'm having a good time, but there was nothing in that hour and a half that made me think this is a game I'm going to push to the end. I could totally turn around on that. It's still early days, but if we're talking about games we're kind of passionate about, I am intrigued by Iconoclast. I'm not really willing to fight for it.
Okay.
I might have more to say on it in the new year. The opening cutscene animation is beautiful.
Alright, so that's 39.
Yep.
Then for 38, I'm going to go with Yokai Watch Blasters.
Okay.
It's a perfectly fine Yokai Watch spin-off game. Main reason I bought it was because I needed to play some Yokai Watch, and there was no announcement of Yokai Watch 3. While playing this game, they announced Yokai Watch 3, and I'm getting it from Santa this Christmas, and I'm way more looking forward to that game. I love Jibanyan, I love Whisper, I love the whole gang. This game is perfectly serviceable as a spin-off. It's like Pokemon Ranger or Pokemon Conquest in terms of the Pokemon games, but that's as far as it gets. I don't know who this game is for.
Cool. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Neve.
The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
It's the worst game I've ever played.
Brian, why are you giving up on the dream?
Look, it beat out like 10 games. That's plenty.
I don't know how that happens.
No, it counts. I think 37, The Quiet Man.
37, The Quiet Man. I mean, I feel like I don't know. Neve, give the game a eulogy.
The Quiet Man is
Kick it in the dirt.
Is possibly the worst game I've ever played. It makes me sad for everyone who worked on it, from the game developers to the actors involved. I feel bad for everyone who spent their money on this thinking it would be a fun bad game when all they got was a bad game. I feel bad for any deaf person or person with a disability who thought they were going to get a hero, that deaf hero. They did not get that. They got an insulting approximation of what someone who isn't deaf, who did absolutely zero research on deafness, thinks deafness might be about. And to top it all off, it was weird and about incest. It played like crap.
That girlfriend mom was beautiful.
Girlfriend mom looking down on you every time you died is something that's burned into my mind in a way that I can't really escape. Yeah. I close my eyes and I kind of see her like winking at me.
Oh, I get you, buddy.
It's like the story itself, when you got to play Answered, which you had to wait days for unlock, was worse. And just incoherent garbage.
Incoherent garbage. There's a quote for the front of the box from Neve. I think that's fair. The Quiet Man, number 37.
Yeah, John, it's up to you. Do you want to look at a game you played or a game you didn't play? How you feeling?
Okay, so I guess we got to have a little bit of a conversation here. I can't really, in good consciousness, let Saving Mr. Taco go much further. I don't know how strongly you feel about this, Brian, but like I did like the look of that game, but like I put hands on it and I was like, like that jump was one of the worst feeling gameplay experiences I've had all year, maybe the worst. I think The Quiet Man plays slightly better than Mr. Taco.
Ooh, okay.
Now, just in terms of game feel, Mr. Taco is a better design game. It looks better. It has more heart and more soul. But that is how little I think of Mr. Taco. But Brian, I know you're a little conflicted on this one. I know you do have some love for that game. So I want to give you a choice. I also think that maybe Bayonetta 1 and 2 shouldn't go any further.
I'd cut Saving Mr. Taco.
Okay. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
Brian, you were the one who spent the most time with this game.
Yeah, so Saving Mr. Taco, that's going in at number 36. Really, really nice idea for a pixel platformer, throwback to the Super Game Boy era. Not successful as a game in terms of gameplay. Visually and in terms of audio, it's very successful, but I'm conflicted recommending this game to anyone. I'd be using it as an example for other games on this list about what was done better.
Yeah.
Saving Mr. Taco. There you go.
Yeah, and fair play to the guy who made it. One person. Hell of an achievement.
Absolutely.
I wish I enjoyed this game.
Same.
Brian, that's going to bounce it back to you.
Okay. I want to cut Spider-Man.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like that's as far as Spider-Man gets.
Oh god, okay, I don't know. I haven't played this game.
No, John, hear me out. I've written some shit about this game, okay? This is a treasure trove collection of AAA game cliches. Tower climbing to unlock new missions on the map. Constantly reusing random encounter animations that make them feel really fucking scripted. The shitty Mary Jane sequences. Annoying quippy dialogue and the most generic of generic soundtracks.
Oh, I love quips.
Bad story in the second half that rushes a lot of boss battles together. We all need to take a hard look at this game and admit that we're like, this game needs to be criticized.
Yeah, it does, and I think those video essays are coming.
Yeah,
like I'm not making one because I don't give a shit, but someone will.
Yeah,
but
I was really, really disappointed by this game.
Okay.
I'm going to follow up what Brian said, and I'm going to reiterate a few points. Assassin's Creed has been maligned for years for its tower climbing. When it shows up in Far Cry, people are like, there's the towers. Spider-Man's entire gameplay and map progression is true tower climbing. It's masked a little because you get to web sling, and the web slinging does feel great, but that's about all this game offers.
Yeah, it makes you really feel like you're playing Spider-Man.
Whoa, fucking hold your fucking horses there, Brian. I'm not done here.
It has trailing missions, which again, Assassin's Creed has been maligned for, so following people and trying to hear what they are trying to say. when you are getting into the swing of playing Spider-Man, it will be broken up by segments where you get to play as Miles, and instead of those being fun, or MJ, they're like forced stealth mechanics where they don't know what to do at all. So, like, one of the forced stealth mechanics moments with MJ is going through a plant where they literally put boxes that can topple over in your way. And it's like, it felt like, oh shit, we need an obstacle. We should put some boxes, and that'll be it. There's a bit later on where it's a better stealth section where you have control of MJ and she's asking Peter to take out enemies while she's doing the stealth, and that felt a bit more involved. But you do stealth with MJ 3 times, you do it twice with Miles. It's just so boring. It's just terrible. A lot of people were saying to me, well, were you not moved by the emotional story? No, I don't think there's an emotional story here. I think what's happening is it relies on your knowledge of Spider-Man. So people are like, oh, they subvert what Dr. Ock was.
Sounds like you just sound like you hate Spider-Man, Eve.
I love Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's awesome.
What's your favorite animated film of all time?
Into the Spider-Verse. I think it might be the best animated film of all time.
Okay.
Love it. I love Spider-Man.
Okay. Look, I'm hearing all your criticisms. Here is my one counter, okay? Is Spider-Man a worse game than Vampire? Because with Spider-Man, you both had things that you enjoy about it. Neve, with Vampire, you sounded like that game was a grey piece of sludge with no joy to be drawn from it.
It wasn't that it didn't have joy. I don't think it was a great story, which is disappointing for vampires. But when it did do interesting stuff, it was more interesting than Spider-Man. And its overall mechanic of managing a town's illness and stuff was more interesting than anything I did in Spider-Man.
That's my last line of defense for Spider-Man. If we're going to cut it, that's fine.
John,
you
should never play this game.
I'm just saying, just because the game is so highly regarded, like I am just trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. I never want to play the game because from the first moment I saw it, I was like, I think I'd fucking hate this. And everything I have heard about that, even people raving about Spider-Man, everything they say makes me just like, this sounds like the John Walsh anti-game.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations, Spider-Man, our 35th best game of 2018.
I didn't like it, and then the more I think about it, the less I like it.
I know, you're both very, very cross.
Good photo mode, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you want to cut the vampire one?
Yeah, I'm going to cut Vampire. Mostly because I was so excited for this. This was the people who brought me, this is Don't Nod, who brought me Life is Strange, and it was vampires. So that's just like, that should, to me, and like the moral quandary of being a vampire, who should I eat, who should not.
Can I make my shitty Life is Strange joke?
Go on.
I can't believe the guys who made Life is Strange made a bad story.
Yeah, that is a bad joke.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I made it like 4 times on this podcast.
You should make it one more time next year.
Oh, but we still got like 2 hours of Game of the Year to go.
It was very disappointing. The gameplay felt rough. Just Jonathan was a boring character. Like the end game even dialed down the kind of importance of the vampires themselves and more became a romance thing with Jonathan and Lady like Houseland or whatever her name was. I got the bad ending where she just walked backwards into fire and killed herself, so that was anticlimactic. There was good moments, like the soundtrack is amazing. Like I think that's something, if you like video game music, that's something you should listen to outside of that game because it's really, really good. There was in-game illustrations to kind of pinpoint each chapter. They were gorgeous looking. Just there was one boss fight against Jonathan's sister who he accidentally killed, where she climbed out of her own grave and took her headstone and beated me to death, like with her cross. Her magic power was like blood roses that would launch out of the ground and burst and damage you. So like there was a good boss design.
There was stuff.
Yeah, okay. But like overall, 90% of it was boring and a bit broken.
Okay, that's guys. I fucked up. For some reason, Dead Cells is not on this list.
Shit.
Okay. I guess it doesn't get to be on it. Oh. No, you can put Dead Cells.
Okay, so now it's back up to 48 games.
Do you want to put it in there? We wouldn't have cut Dead Cells.
It would not. Anyway. It would not have got cut yet.
Okay,
no.
So then
I'll do it here while you talk about your game, John.
Okay, so Okay, I kind of feel like we're at a kind of point now where most of the games I'm looking at on this list are like good games. Like I don't think there's really much bad games left on the list. That said, the one that stands out to me to cut next is Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this game.
Soul Calibur 6 is just, Soul Calibur is the very famous, like, weapons-based fighting series. It has always been my least favorite of the Pig 3D fighters, just for the simple reason I'm not really that into how it feels, and what has always bothered me with Soul Calibur is just I hate how little the weapons feel like they matter, because they don't really act like weapons. They do a little bit of damage. Like if someone hits you with a short sword, you should be like dead, and that's how other fighting games that have weapons have handled it. Like that fucking weird Shinobi PS1 game, the name escapes me, but like Samurai Showdown and stuff, and I've always been more drawn to them. This Soul Calibur, there's cool things about it, but it really just feels like more of the same Soul Calibur for me. And the character creator's great, and they have put a lot of effort into the single player, but I didn't find myself drawn to go back to this game or to get good, and I don't really think the Soul Calibur characters are that charming outside like maybe Mitsurugi and Ivy. That's kind of it. And Valdo as well. But yeah, I'd be pretty happy to cut this game. I think this is going to be someone's game of the years, but it's not mine, and it sure as hell isn't ours.
Okay, that's going to be 34 then.
34.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've just updated the list.
Thank you for that, Brian. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
Brian.
Yes.
What do you got?
Okay, see, this is where it gets in. Yeah, like these are all games that we all kind of.
I don't think there's any free passes anymore.
No. I'm gonna cut. See, do I pick a game I played, or do I kind of annoy someone with a game they've played?
Well, the object isn't really to annoy.
But yes, that's what will happen.
Okay.
But like you should pick whichever game you feel should go.
Okay, I'm gonna feel out two games here.
Go on.
One is my own, one is another game I have not played, but I want to hear the response of. So the game I'm picking is Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Switch. Then the game I'm feeling out is Burnout Paradise HD.
I'm feeling out Burnout Paradise HD as well. What's a car?
Something you can fucking destroy, and that's what I love about Burnout Paradise. Like the thing about Burnout Paradise.
But see, the thing is, these are both like porty remakes.
Yeah, and I think these are the next two games to get cut.
Yeah.
I guess the argument I'm gonna make to Burnout is this is a racing game I really like. That does not happen ever. And it's got a really cool soundtrack. It has a really cool attitude. Like this, it has that like kind of like mid 2000s rock soundtrack, and it's really fun. And the game looks beautiful. Still, it looks incredible. I don't feel like I'm going to be able to win you over with this game, because I think a big part of this is just like it feels so good to go fast, and it feels so good to smash someone. And I just love like driving around the city, and it's like a new car shows up and you fucking destroy them, and then another new car goes up and you just obliterate them, and then you just stop at a traffic lights and go in a race and you wreck everyone in that fucking race, and it is just so cathartic. And I'm looking forward to playing this over Christmas a little bit and just zoning out, because this is like a zone out game, and I really like that. I cannot argue it's a better like HD than like I like Bayonetta 1 and 2 better than I like Burnout without question.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it, there is no contest here. But I think Burnout is a really great game, and I would advise, even if you don't like racing games, if you see this game on sale, fucking go for it. It's really, really cool.
So which one do we cut first, Bayonetta or Burnout? Because
I think cut Burnout first. I think Bayonetta is more in the spirit of this podcast.
Okay, so Burnout's going to be 34, Bayonetta is going to be 33. So yeah. I'm just going to talk about Bayonetta first.
Go for it.
If you somehow haven't played this game yet, it's on the Switch. If you buy physically, you buy Bayonetta 2, but you get a code for Bayonetta 1. And they're essentially the Wii U ports of the game, but like these are some video games.
Hell yeah, they are.
The creator of the game is Hideki Kamiya. He's a character as well. Bayonetta's just a super cool lady. She's a witch with guns on her shoes. The fucking set pieces in this game are ridiculous. Replayability is all there. Cool game.
Lady Gaga is playing it now, and she's documenting her experience on Twitter.
Boy, is that a time.
Yeah.
That's really interesting and fun. I hope she does a cosplay.
Oh my god, or like just a concert performance.
I've also just realized there's another game that is not on this list.
Fucking goddamn it, okay.
But I'm just going to talk about it. It's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze featuring Funky Mode.
Oh yeah, it's
for the
not.
Switch. It's not on, but you know what? We'll keep playing it, and in 2019, it might be in Best Old Game.
Okay, sure.
So it's not here. We're sorry, Donkey Kong. We love you. See you soon.
I think we can get away with it just because it's not like a new game.
It's not. The only new edition is Funky Mode.
Yeah.
But then the only new edition of Bayonetta is that you can play it in handheld. But you could do that in the Wii U version.
That's pretty cool, though.
It looks real good on the Switch and handheld. Like, it is a treat.
Okay, congratulations to Burnout at number
34.
and Bayonetta at number 33. Okay, now we are really through the looking glass. I think this is where feelings start getting hurt.
Yeah.
And with it, our champion feeling herder, it's Neve.
Blossom Tales?
Oh.
That noise!
Does that hurt a lot?
That game is so cute.
Is this like a little farming simulator thing?
No, it's it's like a little Link to the Past clone where you play as a girl with a sword.
Oh, okay. Well, like, okay. No, wait. Kirby Star Allies.
Oh,
He didn't like that game.
I can't
He
believe-
didn't like that game. I remember you not liking that
I
game.
know.
What?
Okay,
Okay.
okay, that's fair. But I think in you trying not to hurt Brian's feelings by picking a Kirby game, like I feel like you're fucking like low key trolling him.
I know, but I
was-
remember distinctly you being
okay.
really disappointed by it. So
I'd really appreciate if Kirby Star Allies got into the 20s.
okay.
No further though, but
We'll see. It's a tight fucking list.
like it could be
Yeah.
29. I don't mind. It just like
Okay. One more. I'll give this one more shot. Do we get rid of Detroit now?
yeah,
Like, why is that there still?
no, yeah, no, because like
I don't know.
John,
But like,
John,
we had such a good conversation with it, and there was a load of shit. And when that game did get me once or twice. I felt things while playing Detroit. I did.
I Blossom Tales is more charming than Detroit, and that's it. Like, one's like a nice little cake, and the other one is a big pizza box full of poo. You're like, come on, you don't want to...
Do you want a pizza box full of poo, John?
You sell me on Blossom Tales.
Okay, so it's a Link to the Past clone with a girl with a sword, but it's phrased.
I hate girls. Detroit.
But it's framed in a way where it's a granddad telling a fairy tale story to his granddaughter and grandson, and they're like, "Oh, make the character a girl," and he's like, "Okay." So then all of a sudden the protagonist is a girl. But you're playing like a Link to the Past clone with 4 dungeons, but it's done in pixel art, but it's almost like voxel, so it's 3D pixels.
Okay.
Like, the sprite art looks absolutely amazing, and the frame rate is a solid 60. Like, you know how you didn't like A Link Between Worlds?
Yep, I feel like I'm the only person in the world who fucking hates that game.
Blossom Tales is like the solution to that problem.
Okay, that is a good argument.
It's a charming game, and I think it like...
I don't know why I'm fighting for Detroit.
Yeah, why are you fighting for that big pizza box full of poo?
I think Detroit has gotten further than I ever thought it would go.
It beat out Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, like...
And I'm thinking, like, for me, it does. Like, Soul Calibur 6 made me feel less than Detroit. Which is probably the subtlest burn I've ever done on this podcast. Okay, yeah, cut Detroit. Number 32?
2? Yeah, 32. Detroit is better than Bayonetta. Are you happy? Fuck's sake.
Oh, what a terrible podcast. Okay, that brings it back to me.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think I have got to go for WarioWare Gold.
No way. John, I love this game so much.
Okay, I'm gonna take one, because this game is only important to me. But I can only fall on my sword so many times from this point in. Capcom Fighting Bundle.
That's brilliant. That's a really good game.
Really, really good game. I had an amazing time playing this with Brian. I had an amazing time playing this by myself. I really love these games. They are all old, but they might as well be new because so many of them were only on arcades.
Yeah.
I think this is a fantastic little game. Really well, works really well on the Switch. I'd advise people get it if you have any school for like nostalgic old school beat 'em ups. This game was just heavenly for me, and I'm sorry to see it go, but hey, at least it's slightly better than Detroit Become Human. That's 31.
Yeah. Then for me, Blossom Tales at number 30.
Okay.
Cute little game, and you get to sit beside Capcom Fighting Bundle, not beside Detroit. So there you go, little guy.
And for me, I'm going to go Kirby Star Allies at 29.
Okay. I'll talk about this game. This game is like walking into town and saying, okay, I'll be in town in 45 minutes, and you get to town in 25 minutes, and then you have to wait around for 20 minutes until you meet your friend.
That is such a specific emotion.
Yeah. But you know that feeling where you're
no,
like,
I get you.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Because I played the game and I beat it, and I was like, what do I do? What's next? And they keep adding DLC to it, and it's just like, you get to play the game, but this time as Rick and Kine and Koo. And you're like, all right, cool, man, but I don't want to play the game again.
I did actually play a bit of this game. I didn't really like the buddy stuff.
It's so overpoweredly easy,
Yeah.
and they've had buddy systems in the Kirby games before in Kirby's Fun Pack, which was on the SNES, and it's done real well, and it's a real kind of like tap in, tap out if you want to play or not. But this is just like, this fucking plays the game for you. And it's so well made. It's so highly polished, but it is made for stupid babies. And like,
another box art quote.
Yeah, it's a simple game, a simple game. And there's another game on this list that does the Kirby nostalgia way better, and we'll get to that later on. A lovely game. I wish I liked it more.
Okay, I think that's fair. Is that back to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is getting hard now.
What's 28, John?
God of War.
Really?
Really?
No.
I thought you. Yeah, like
fuck.
That's that. I think God of War is like low 20s. Or wait, early 20s.
I think that's pretty reasonable. We'll get to that.
What's 28?
Okay, number 28. Okay.
Are there any games here that you play where you're just like...
None. There's none left. I think all these games are really worth playing. That said, Brian, I know you just had to lose a child. But talk to me about Mario Tennis Aces.
Nope.
Okay, I think I gotta do it. I think I gotta get rid of Pocket Rumble. I love this game. Beautiful little game. Really.
Neve.
Sorry.
I was trying to give a eulogy for my friend.
She's texting someone.
I think I'm just a really good little game, and like looks like they really nails that like Neo Geo style of pixel art, which is a very specific period, and like a really just expressive art style. But I think what really surprised me with this game was like, this game is so much closer to Smash Brothers than you would think. Like, they have done really interesting stuff with this game, and the moves are really easy to pull off, and every character has such a specific mechanic. Like, the girl who can, like, fight through her cat, and, like, the guy who's just Ryu and he's just good at parrying, or, like, the guy who can turn into a werewolf, and they all feel so distinct that, like, you really have to know what you're doing with the characters, despite the fact that on the surface they only have a very small amount of moves that are all easy to do and pull off. And I just love this game. I thought it was great. This is going to be something I stick on every couple of months just for like a little hit of happiness. But you know, this is not the John Game of the Year awards, no matter how hard I pitch the guys on making it that. And you know, Brian, Neve, I know you guys don't really have much to say about this game, and so I don't think it really can go much further than this, but I think it's a really great little game. And 28
28?
28 is not a bad spot to get to. So thank you, Pocket Rumble. I thought you were really cool.
28 out of 48 ain't too bad at all.
No, and it should only get easier from here.
Yeah. Okay, it's my go. Can I feel out some other games?
Go on.
Okay, there's 2 Yakuza games on this list. And one is a big fucking deal, and the other one is not a big fucking deal.
You're not wrong.
But do we let it just go a tiny bit further?
If I'm being honest, like, about my feelings towards Yakuza, like, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is the game you're aiming at here, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves to go much further.
I don't want to cut it yet.
I feel good letting it go yet.
Yeah,
because
same.
I am currently playing it, and it is great.
Yeah, same. No, I'm just feeling out some games, and we're not cutting that just yet.
We don't need the knives just yet.
No. I don't know anything about Deltarune. Is that a good game?
Deltarune's the greatest game of all time, and it's going to be number 1 this year.
No, it's not.
Okay, Neve, can you tell me about Deltarune, because you played it?
Deltarune is a very fun 3 to 4 hours, nothing particularly special. One of the characters is so annoying, it makes me want to die. Music and soundtrack really good. We've cut games with better sprite work in it.
Do you know what the worst thing about all this? I agree with absolutely everything she's saying.
Look, I think
the characters who are likable and interesting are likable and interesting. I do like that battle system. I liked that there was, like, I prefer, like, party RPGs than a single player party RPG, so I thought it really...
I think gameplay wise it was a big improvement.
Yeah, I really liked the gameplay of it. I liked, like, the little aspects of like, one of the characters you fight is a little boxer man, but he's all, like, jumbled up, and the gameplay kind of changes where you have to kind of put his head on the top and his body in the middle and his legs at the bottom, you know.
And then he's like, oh, thank you, I feel much better.
Aww.
Yeah, and, like, there's cute little moments like that. But I would be happy for it to stay on longer, but I don't know how John feels about it.
Yeah.
I think, for me, like, Deltarune goes after Kiwami 2 for me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, how about Dead Cells? Because you were excited about that.
Okay, here's the thing with Dead Cells. I really like Dead Cells, but I fell off a fucking cliff with that game. I burnt out on that so hard and so fast, and I think this game is fantastic. I don't know that there is a game that plays better than Dead Cells on this list. I really don't. But I got so bored of it. And, like, it happened overnight. Because I had this one run and it was like 50 minutes long. And I was like, oh my god, I've made it so far. And then I died. And the thought of ever making it back there bummed me out. And every time I play it since, I get like a couple of maps in and I'm like, oh fucking hell. And it sucks because I thought there was a while there where that was aiming for my game of the year. That was how much I liked that game. I got that roguelike burnout on it. I really did.
Do you want to cut it now or do you want to keep it for a bit later?
Give me some other options.
How about Detention?
No.
Okay. You really like Into the Breach, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. How about the Super Street Fighter 30th anniversary?
I feel like I've had to cut 3 of my babies in a row, and I don't want to cut this game.
Oh, you know what?
No, hang on. I think it's a fair cut because at the end of the day, this is just a HD re-release ever. Now, the only thing is it's a HD re-release of my favorite game of all time. Well, one of them in Street Fighter 3, and I love it. The netcode's kind of shit, you know? Like, I wanted to fucking destroy Pat at this game, and I couldn't because the netcode was that bad. So I guess I have to keep in mind here, this isn't Street Fighter 3, this is Street Fighter the Anniversary Collection. Netcode kind of sucks. If you want to cut this game, I'm not going to argue. But god damn it, I love this game, and this is a fantastic game.
Okay, I don't want to cut it, or how about I cut Taiko no Tatsujin before we cut that?
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, so Taiko no Tatsujin on Switch is number 27. But then how about we make Street Fighter 30 at 26?
Sure. Do you want to say some words on Taiko no Tatsujin?
Sure. Okay, Taiko no Tatsujin, Drum and Fun, which is on the Switch and PS4, came out this year, and it's a port of the arcade game, more or less. And it's got a huge selection of songs, even recent tracks, like the opening to Pop Team Epic, which is really, really fucking cool.
Such a good song.
Compared to other rhythm games, this only has 2 inputs. It has, the red beat and the blue beat, which is the inside of the drum or the outside of the drum. I think something like Project Diva has multiple inputs with even the shoulder buttons doing some work. It's fun to play on the Switch, but I've also played like this in the arcade in Japan, and that is like the definitive experience of that game.
Sure.
It's a really, really good port on the Switch though, but that's as far as it gets. There is a demo, so you can try out the demo if you're curious, and it's a very fun game.
Okay, and so we are halfway through our Game of the Year list, and so I think that's a good time, everyone. Take a little time, let's pause, let's reflect on the evening's goings on, and let's count down games number 48
to 25.
to 25. Okay. Starting at number 48, Ukulele.
47 is A Way Out.
46 is Fist of the North Star.
45 is Luigi's Mansion DS.
What is 44? It is September 1999. 43 is
The Messenger.
our good friend The Messenger. 42 is Yoku's Island Adventure.
41
Is Life is
Life is
Strange.
Strange Farewell.
Life is Strange. So that's 40 is
Iconoclast. 39 is Yokai Watch Blasters. 38 is The Quiet Man.
37 is Save Me Mr. Taco. 36 is Spider-Man. 35 is
Vampire.
Vampire. Okay.
34 is Soul Calibur 6.
33 is
Burnout Paradise.
Oh boy, that makes 32 Bayonetta.
And 30 is Capcom Fighting Bundle.
No. 31. 31 is our good friend Detroit. 30,
Fair play, David.
30 is the Capcom Fighting Bundle.
29 is Blossom Tales.
Blossom
Okay,
Tales.
good find. So that would mean that 28 would be Kirby Star Allies. Oh dear. 27 is Pocket Fighter Rumble.
26 is Taiko no Tatsujin.
And 25, to finish it all up, is Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection.
Okay, that's enough housekeeping. It's time to get to the real bloodshed.
Also, I just want to clarify, it's so hard to do one of these lists.
It's so fucking complicated. We had to recalibrate things there.
We
so
did.
the numbers might be a little off from what you remember.
But those are the numbers at the 50% mark. We have 24 games left on the list.
Yeah. And these are games that we all like, so should be a lot easier. There shouldn't be any like disagreements or anything, right, Neve? Neve, why don't you take it away?
Hollow Knight.
Those other games.
Brian, if Hollow Knight stings, I can offer you Dead Cells, Neve, if you'd be alright with that. I think I've kind of made my points clear on why.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's take away Dead Cells then.
Okay.
Dead Cells, fantastic little game. I think I blame another game for me burning out on Dead Cells, and it's Binding of Isaac, because that ruined all roguelikes or roguelites or whatever the fuck you want to call them for me. It's still a great game, still the best playing game I've played all year. But yeah, this is where its journey ends.
The way you were describing Dead Cells to me is similar to Hollow Knight, but I want to hold on to Hollow Knight just for one or two games.
I think Hollow Knight sounds better than Dead Cells.
Okay.
And I think that brings it back to me. Oh, I think I gotta let go of Yakuza Kiwami 2. I think it's a great game. I'm really, really enjoying playing it. But I also think it's the worst Yakuza game on this list by a wide margin. I think this is a fantastic game. There's so much I love about it, but I think to me, Yakuza got really interesting when Kiryu got old and sad. He's not old and sad yet, so yeah, I love this game. I'm gonna play. I can't wait to play more of it. It is fantastic, but this is as far as it goes.
Kiwami 2 has the one cutscene in it where someone smashes a bottle on the back of Kiryu's head, and the glass just shatters and falls off him, and he just turns around all pissed, like it didn't do anything to him.
It also has the gayest final boss fight in all of Yakuza.
Please tell.
They are barely fighting at all, but there's a lot of leg grappling and sweaty bodies colliding. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
Brian.
it's me. Okay, so 22. I'm going to feel out some games, okay?
Okay.
I'm feeling out my own one, which is Mario Tennis Aces, right? But how hot are you guys on the likes of Detention and Deltarune?
I think I'm hotter on Deltarune than I am Detention, but I don't feel Detention should go yet.
Okay, well then I'm gonna cut Mario Tennis Aces.
Okay. That's a cool game. That is a fucking cool game.
Yeah. So Mario Tennis Aces, you are in at number 22. So I'm just going to talk quickly about this game. This is a genre bender. I'm never into sports titles ever, but this is one where it mixes in fighting game logic into a tennis game, where you are juggling a power meter as well as getting into the mind of your opponent, which is 100% a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
The single player of this game is also super fantastic. I think it's done by Camelot, who did the Game Boy Color game, and it really, really feels like an evolution of that. Got a huge roster. It's been supported by DLC characters that are really, really interesting. Like Blooper was a recent addition. I think PD Piranha just got added as well as one of the heavier characters, which is cool. It's a really, really cool like spin-off Mario sports title. Way better than it has any right to be.
I feel like when Nintendo are at their best, there's a lot of love put into whatever they do, and you can really read it. And from the short time I spent with Mario Tennis Aces, that's what I felt about it. I just felt like it was this really special little game. You know, I thought it was really... There was a lot of it was fun, and it was very, like, all the characters are so expressive, the courts look great, it felt really good. I think this is the right place for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool little game.
Yeah, it's me.
Sorry, I sounded like a horse there. Or horses haven't done great on this list.
No.
How are we feeling about Into the Breach?
What if I... I mean...
Looking at everything else that's here.
Yeah, and the two games I just mentioned, not Detroit, Detention and Deltarune.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
I get that one of them has to go.
Yeah, because there are other games on this list that we can't cut yet.
No. So out of Detention, Into the Breach, and Deltarune, I think I have to cut Into the Breach, and that's hard because I think that's a fantastic little game. But when I listen to my feelings, Deltarune and Into the Breach both made me feel, Detention both made me feel very specific things, and I don't think I'm ready to let them go. Into the Breach is a fantastic game I think nearly anyone would enjoy. I wouldn't say that about the other two games, but I also think it's less personal to me, so I can let it go easier. So yeah, I think I'm going to let Into the Breach go. Into the Breach is great. It is the makers of FTL, super fun little strategy RPG. Every map is this little 8x8 grid, and you have your mechs, and they do very simple things, like they can push an enemy, they can pull an enemy, they can attack, they can do all these things, and it all seems so basic when you start, until you start learning how to combine the powers of different mechs, and the results are so cool and interesting. And when you nail a good strategy, and this is the kind of game where you spend 0 time playing it, you spend 90% of the time staring at your screen going, I know I can do this better. Then you take your turn, and the second you hit turn, it's like, wait, no, if I had just... And then it's over. But that's the tension of the game, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's a really great little game, and on the Switch, portable, like, this is a game that eats plane journeys. Really highly recommended. I think this is the first cut on this list that really hurts, which is a testament to how good this year is, but I'm happy to let it go, and it was a good game.
Okay, we are now into the top 20.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, and once again, looking at these games, and it's like, where did they place what is number 20?
Okay, whose choice is it next?
Yours.
Oh, fuck, okay. Oh, this is getting hard. Neve, I asked this question because I need to know where you stand on this game, because I don't really... Talk to me about Gris.
Gris is a real surprise hit for me. It's a beautiful platformer. It feels like playing a living, breathing illustration. It's so graphically composed. Like, if you like illustration or you like graphic design, it feels like that. And it's just, oh god, it's super hard to explain without showing it to someone. It's like, it's so, it doesn't have a narrative. You start as this like girl, and she wakes up, and you just move forward and you run through the world, and as you progress you unlock colors, and each color has its own connection to a area. So like blue is water, and then the level becomes a water level. Like green is the forest, red is a desert, and there's different mechanics for each area. The game leads you out throughout this whole thing, and it never feels like progressing to a next level. It feels like a tapestry that's growing outwards, but it's all connected. Like, I feel if you were going to pull back the camera from all of this, it would be one large illustration that you're running through. It seems like it's a mix of hand animation, and like her dress flows beautifully, and it's like, it's kind of an animator's dream. Like, when she's in the air, she moves like a bird and her dress billows out. When she's in the water, she moves like a manta ray. Like, it is beautiful and detailed in very, very subtle ways. I'm not ready to let that game go. It's a really surprise for me.
Sure.
And there's a lot more I would cut before it.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a game here I'm wondering, would you both cut?
What?
The Missing. I know it's super fucking weird and it's got its charm.
Okay. Let me be real about The Missing. I think that game is fucking cool. I love its vibe. I love its character. I hate playing that game.
Yeah.
I really hate how that game plays.
I agree. It plays like ass.
It plays like absolute ass. And it is a testament to how good the other parts of it are that it can get this far without being considered cut, because the gameplay is so bad.
I think it should be in our top 20 then. I think it should lead the top 20.
I'm happy to leave it. In terms of what to cut, I feel like I have to come back to WarioWare Gold. I know you have a lot of love for this game, Brian. I had a lot of love for this game for the first 2 hours, and then I got really tired of it.
There are other games I'd cut before WarioWare Gold.
Okay.
Like games I played. But do you want to... Like, which game do you want to be number 20?
What's the other game you'd cut?
Hollow Knight.
I mean, you're kind of the authority on Hollow Knight because you're the only one who played it. And I know you liked it, but you also seemed like you had a lot of problems with that game.
Yeah, I did. But, like, it seems like the problems I had weren't as big as the problems you'd have with The Missing. Like, it seems like Missing would be 20 and then Hollow Knight would be 19.
See, what's good about The Missing is it, like, there isn't a lot of LGBT representation in games. And this is a game that's centered around a specific experience, and some of the dialogue feels so honest that it was like nearly painful, like a mother not accepting their child kind of stuff. And that's, the writing is just so exceptional when it's good, but the game play, like, there's one puzzle where they make you do it in the dark. Like, that's just it, you're doing a puzzle in the dark, and it's just like the worst thing I've ever played. And I butted my head against it. It was pure brute force that made that puzzle go through, and I did not have fun playing it. Most of the time, I don't think I'm having fun playing it, but the mechanics are also interesting with the whole, body parts and brutalizing a character to get them somewhere. But I don't know. I don't know how far I take it, because as a game, I don't think it's enjoyable, but as a writing piece, I think it's very, very strong and surprising. I would let it go now.
Okay, but then I'm going to go with Hollow Knight. Okay, so The Missing is 20, but Hollow Knight is 19, and this is
We're
getting
getting
tough.
into it now. This is painful.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Hollow Knight. This was one of my...
So, sorry, just to be clear, was that my cut?
I don't know anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I'm okay with all that, but like, just so...
The Missing was your cut.
So then The Missing is my cut. Then Brian, Hollow Knight is your cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk
Talk about Hollow Knight.
Okay, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was one of my surprise favorites of the year. It originally came out in 2017 on Steam. but it came out on the Switch as its first console release in the summer of this year. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm getting emotional. Okay.
It is emotional!
Things I love about this game. The art style, the animation, atmosphere, sound design, even the UI, all are beautiful. They all work well together. Huge game length. It's like 40 hours plus long. And it's only €15, which is such a great price for that. It's a Souls-like in that you have that push of exploring. You might die, but then you have to kind of go back. It gets real satisfying when you do master the controls of the game. And it has this ability system where you stack different charms, but you can have a build where you're like a glass cannon, where you only have one block of health, but you cause like huge damage. Or you can have a slow healing character that has to stand still and charge to re-heal. So you can play that game in a multitude of different ways, and you have to try and use different builds against certain bosses because of their attack patterns. It's got a great ambiguous story about a fallen insect kingdom, which is such a cool idea for a game.
Yeah, even the little bits I heard about that story are so cool.
Yeah, but I guess my main kind of gripe, and I think is a big flaw to the game, is that it's a precision-based game like Super Meat Boy. Like, it plays very similar to Super Meat Boy, where you have to just land your character exactly right on an enemy attack and time it just right so he flicks out his little needle sword. And his sword is that, like, it's just a button tap flick that he does. But unlike Super Meat Boy, the spawn points are not forgiving at all. It might take you 10 minutes to get back to where you died. Whereas Super Meat Boy and other games similar to it, it never loses the momentum. It always just it'll just drop you back off where you died, or near enough that you can make a quick fix on your previous attempt and solve it. And it's just that it has the gameplay of those kind of games, but it doesn't have the risk reward of them, I guess. I really, really wish I liked it more, and like I would be gunning for it more, but I have to let it go at 19.
I want to give just the missing JJ Macfield and the Island of Memories a bit of a eulogy as well.
Go for it.
As I said, I don't think we get many games about representation. I don't think we get many games about trans representation specifically, just or any in general. And I think JJ attempts to do that. And when it's good, it's very good. It nails the isolating feeling and maybe the fear of being outed really well. It nails the relationships between specific people really well. It has this a real emotional core that is running through it that seems honest and true, and something that, like, I cried playing it a lot. Like, there was moments that really got me, like when her, just as I said, the mother not accepting their child kind of stuff. Those words that she said over those text messages, I've heard. Other LGBT people have heard them.
I didn't get in as far in the game as you, and I think I'm going to keep going, but even the early stuff about how she didn't approve of her daughter's, just like, not even like sexuality, but just like the college course she was on or stuff like that. Like, they were so cutting.
Yeah, they were so cutting.
Nearly being intentional, which nearly made it worse. Like, the mom didn't know she was doing this damage.
Yeah, it's that well-meaning mom kind of thing where it's kind of like, you know, I only want the best for you, but like they say that, but also say something really cutting as well, or that really invalidating. All of that stuff is good. The gameplay is like, it doesn't telegraph stuff. Like, I spent ages just looking around, not knowing what to do, and there was a switch on the wall, but it was grey and the wall was grey.
I had a lot of that when I played it.
There was stuff where I needed to roll my head under a partition. I didn't know there was a partition there just because it didn't look like a partition. So it was just a lot of trial and error and not clarity.
It did like the thing I hate, you know, with puzzles sometimes, where like to set up to a puzzle, it takes like 30 seconds to go run over here, get the boulder, do whatever the fuck you gotta do. Then you try something and it doesn't work, and then you're back to the first part of the puzzle and you have to do it all again. That shit drives me insane.
Yeah, the checkpointing is really unforgiving. It will like put you back to the very start of something, even though you've gone through like 3 stages in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because it's so trial and error and you have to experiment with it, you will die. So it's frustrating. I think this is as far as it goes. I'm looking forward to Swery's other game, The Good Life. I love Swery's writing. Still, his gameplay is not the best. But
No.
isn't that the mark of a true sweary game?
That I felt the same emotions of Deadly Premonition, where I was like, I want to love this, but the gameplay is struggling so hard. God, I wish Swery could like direct a Platinum game.
Maybe someday.
Maybe fuck, man. Yeah. Hey, Hollow Knight, The Missing, 2 fantastic games.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Totally.
Good stuff.
A lot of gems.
Okay.
That brings us to number 18.
Is that you, Neve?
Yep.
A tense silence falls over the boss cast.
I'm gonna go with Detention. It's 2017 original release. It's been on a long time. It's past a lot of games.
Yeah, okay, I can let Detention go. Detention is the closest feeling a modern game has ever given me to a old school Silent Hill experience. I think the game is fantastic. I think the way it uses the history of its country and like the kind of political strife of that time to elevate the horror is incredible. The way it turns around, the way the story turns, and the way you start to realize why everyone is doing what they're doing. Because I feel like, at a certain point, most horror games will be a bit like, and this person had personal problems too. Like that's kind of a staple. It's like a half-assed Silent Hill 2, a lot of games. But this game goes into your main character's home life. It goes into like their own feelings of isolation, how they developed an inappropriate relationship with someone above them, and the disastrous effects that had on everyone around them. And it does it without a whole lot of dialogue or without like much exposition, and it does it in a really powerful way. And it is a weird game. It is awkward, but I feel like where I was saying that I can't really recommend Virtue's Last Reward to many people, I recommend Detention to anyone with even a slight love for horror games, because this game will go on sale. This is going to be the kind of game that's on sale for €5, $5, and you're going to download it and you're going to be like, holy shit, I cannot believe how good that game was. And I'm super proud of it for making it this far. I got a lot of love for this game and a lot of respect for the people who made it. So thank you, Detention. Okay, that leaves me next. And to me, there's one game that's really jumping out off this list now, and it's WarioWare Gold.
There's another game I cut before WarioWare. That's another one of mine.
Minute?
Yep.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't.
Did you play Minute?
I did.
I gave him a go off Minute. They're both very similar games in terms of their like instant weirdness.
Yeah.
Like they complement each other. They conflict each other as well at the same time.
And like I loved WarioWare. There was a point in WarioWare where I was like, I think this is one of my favorite games of the year. The only thing that stopped it is I felt like the sheen wore off, and I felt like because the games are kind of segmented, I was seeing a lot of the same games at the same time, and that feeling of just bizarre, joyful insanity kind of wore thin on me.
Okay, I'm good with cutting it, but we have to leave Minute alone then for a tiny bit. That little fucker of a game.
We'll see.
Do
you want to give WarioWare its eulogy?
Sure thing. So WarioWare is what, number 17?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, it was the funniest and weirdest game I've played this year. Strange, bizarre cutscenes. Sometimes it does feel like a game that shouldn't officially exist, as if we're the playtesters playing this prototype of a game before it actually comes out. And that's all kind of built into the lore, because you're playing these micro games that are just these untested, broken games, and you're just hit with them in a big succession rush, and your reaction time is really, really tested. I think in our post-Vine internet world, this game is kind of comforting. You have this whole back catalogue of old Nintendo or old WarioWare games, because the series is 15 years old. But I do think like WarioWare games and Vine, there are some similarities where you're just like, you don't know how to react and it's over before it even starts. You have button-based games, you have touch-based games, you have gyro games, all built into the 3DS's system. You have the archive of the retro style games that use like the original Legend of Zelda, original Mario Brothers, with loads of different varying art styles, from like finished pixel art drawings to weird scribbles. Then you have, and then once you complete the main game, you've got different ways to play, including one where you play as 9-volt in bed with your mom, trying to make sure that you're in bed asleep, but you want to stay up late and play games
that's
instead.
really good.
I love those new ways to play. But I just think like this is gonna be one of the last games on the 3DS, and it's a real kind of like celebration of that era of Nintendo.
It's a great send off.
So that's WarioWare Gold.
That's number 17.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Whose turn is it now?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a game I've never played. I'm not interested in playing this game, but I have to know how into it you are. Monster Hunter World.
I love this game.
You love it.
I really do.
Okay.
I've played many hours of it, and I intend on playing many more.
Are you the same, Neve?
No, I'd be happy with putting it.
Right.
But we can wait.
Are there other games on this list? Because I'm going to need some help. Are there other games on this game that we really, really, really like, but we're happy to kind of let it be at number 16?
How do we feel about Celeste?
I think I can just about get okay with cutting Celeste. And it's hard because I feel like I really felt a lot for this game, and I think it's a beautiful little game, and it made me very happy, and I think it tackles difficult topics like mental health in some admirable enough ways. It only fell down for me in the last little bit where I felt like the platforming challenge of it outstripped the actual story, whereas up until that point I felt like they'd been working hand in hand in a really cool way. But I also know I'm the only one who played it, and I think if you both played it, I would be the only one. I think you might really enjoy it, Brian. I'm not sure.
It
I
seemed
played
really
a
good.
little bit of it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because I wanted to experience the stuff about mental health. I don't think I like that game.
How much did you play of it?
I'd say only an hour and a half.
See, the problem there, and like that, I think you should play more of it just for your own sake. But do you remember after the first hour, I was pretty much like, "There's nothing special about this game." It was only after that. Did you get to the hotel?
Yes.
Did you get to the end of the hotel?
Nope.
End of the hotel where I was kind of like, okay, and then from then on is when they start doing really interesting thing with the gameplay mechanics. But I didn't know you had played it, and if that's your take on it, I'm pretty happy to let it go.
It's just, this is a personal thing, and I know, like, when talking about depression, it's so individual. I really don't like the idea of depression, the idea of a mountain, something that's beatable or climbable or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's really not the story. Like, I thought that's what it was going. The way it kind of goes in the end, I don't want to say too much about it. It's more just accepting you have depression and learning to live with it. Like, the mountain is not her depression.
Okay, that's good. That's way something more I'm into, because like I really, you know, when like video
I
games
get it. It's like
health,
you've beaten depression. And it's like you don't ever really beat depression.
And it's just like, no, what happens if it's clinical? Like,
Yeah.
what happens if you're like,
no, it's not
3 weeks
that.
in
Like
bed?
the entire message of Celeste is much more like, okay, this is a part of me. I can't keep hating myself for
That's
this
good.
being a part of me.
Yeah.
And that got me. And once she realizes that, it activates a brand new gameplay mechanic, because she's now kind of, she's using her depression, and it was powerful to me. Like, it did get me, you know.
That's really cool. I didn't know that happens in it, and that makes me like appreciate it more. When those little weirdos accepted the award on stage for it at like the Game Awards, and I was like, those look like people who know exactly what they're talking about.
I thought they were a real cute bunch of little fuckers.
Yeah, they were really endearing, and I was just like, wow, that really means a lot to them. I do get what you mean about the disparate styles of the pixel art and the vector
that shit
stuff.
And like, it's such a small thing, it drives me insane though. I think 16, like, the way I kind of see this year in games is, to be honest, there's not a whole lot of games that I will be remembered as my favorite games ever. There's a lot of 9 out of 10s. Celeste is a 9 out of 10, and it's I know number 16 sounds low, but I think Celeste is a beautiful game, and I think they did a hell of a job on it. And I'm happy to let it go now, and I'm happy to see it got so far. And this game meant a lot to me, and I think if you're in any way curious about it, you should check it out, because it might mean a lot to you too. It's really cool. But yeah, congratulations, Celeste. I'm getting weirdly emotional.
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's what you're saying. It's just like none of these games are bad. Like I feel like it feels hard to do.
Yeah,
but I'm also
being
like
mean to a really nice game.
But I'm also happy we played them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
Absolutely.
We had a good year with the podcast and just gaming in general.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that leaves us with number 15, and whose go is it?
That was mine, so it's John's go now.
Number 15.
Like, are we looking at cute little indie games? Are we looking at a big AAA game now?
Okay. I guess I can only really speak to my own experience here. But there's a game on this list that I love so much more in concept than I think I do in actuality. And it's Octopath Traveler.
That's a tough one.
And I know it is a really tough one, but I think at some point we gotta look at the other games on this list.
Yeah.
Because it's not about, is Octopath good? We all know it's good.
Yeah.
We all know how fucking good that pixel art is. We all know how fucking good that battle system is. But I feel like that game has one huge flaw, and it's the story,
Yeah.
I think. And when I look at the rest of the games on this list, there's not a whole lot of huge flaws left.
I kind of agree. Like, I was so ready to love this game. I got the collector's edition because I love that artwork. I love that it looks like a pop-up, and the collector's edition was this pop-up set. I was so ready for this to be my game of the year. I was so ready for
Me
this
too.
to be my
I thought,
Switch game.
I thought it
you
was a
know?
shoo-in,
Yeah,
honestly.
just a game we all agreed on, because
Yeah.
there was aspects of it that we all really liked about it.
Yeah.
And then, Brian, you were the most lukewarm on it.
Yeah, but I still played 50 hours of the story.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a great game.
yeah,
still.
I invested a lot of time to that game, but I don't really want to play any more of it right now. Like, I'll probably go back to it. But
I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
this game out on a plane at some point for
Yeah.
sure.
Same.
But like, it was not the game that I think it could have been. And what I want is an Octopath 2.
Yeah, it feels undercooked.
It does, and that's
You want Octopath second.
yeah. And like when you have a game that is so polished in specific areas, I think you do feel the parts where it doesn't stand up.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I think that's what happened this game.
Coming in as a Bravely fan, like Bravely Default, I feel is like this perfect like condensement of all the best aspects of an RPG all into one like really tight little package. I was really excited for this being something like that, but with this lovely pixel style. It has nothing, it has no emotional pull. Like outside of Primrose, most of the characters are like tropey as hell, and
Yep.
not just like tropey, like just like blank slate characters. Like someone gave you a whole pile of D&D blank slates for you to fill in a name or something of different types of characters, and that's it. Like some of their stories were engaging and some just weren't, but they just never came together.
No,
There was
I nearly
never
feel like they were written by
overarching-
different people.
Yeah, oh totally.
And if that's the case, I would not do that for the second game.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's a shame because like, I think the message of the game is beautiful. Like a bunch of strangers coming together on this fucking weird adventure. That's awesome. It's just a shame they didn't land it harder, and maybe they do something very much in the late game, because I don't know if any of us actually beaten it because it's like 1,000,000 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
But from what we played, I don't think any of us could claim it did. So I think this is where it stops. But that's okay, because number 15 is in a tough year. That is a really, really good outcome.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Is it my go?
It is your go, Brian.
Okay, do I say a game we've already mentioned, or do I challenge?
It's all up to you, buddy.
Go for it.
Gotta go what you feel.
Do I go with another indie darling, or do I go with a AAA?
Test it out.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if I'm ready to cut Dragon Ball Fighter Z yet. Like maybe in a game or two, but not just yet.
I really, really like that game a lot.
Same, I love it. So maybe not just yet, but just putting it out there.
Okay.
I need the other. I'm gonna be ready to cut minutes soon. Do you guys love God of War? How do you feel about God of War?
I'm surprised no one has thrown this out sooner.
Okay, God of War.
I
Number 14.
I have to be honest, I have zero love for God of War. This game makes me feel nothing. I don't like how it plays. I don't even really like how it looks. But I'm not the God of War fan at this table.
It's a stretch to call me a God of War fan.
Okay, I'm not a fan of this God of War at this table. I know you don't have any fondness for the series, but you do like this game.
I do like this game. I thought this game, like I know you said you don't like how it looks. I thought this game looked beautiful. I thought this was concept art come alive.
My dislike of its looks is totally a personal preference thing and not an actual indictment of the artist's skills. Because it isn't. The work and skill that has gone into this game is kind of staggering.
I loved how this game looked visually. It was the moment when you reach the witch's house and it's a turtle and it lifts up out of the ground. I was just like, yeah, like that's, as a concept artist, you want to draw these weird things and they never make it in because it's just a bit too fucked up, you know. And this was it. There was the turtle house. It was so pleasing. It was so good. It was so great, and it worked in such a realistic looking game. I love the world serpent. I love the sound design of its deep bellowing voice. I've never heard a noise like that come from a video game before. It was so specific to that creature, and I don't think I'll ever hear anything like that again. I enjoyed the gameplay. There was moments where I didn't like when I was introduced to the Chaos Blades for the first time, because I was like, oh man, I love my Leviathan axe. Why are you throwing this at me more than halfway through a game? I don't want this. But as I progressed with it and became good at swapping them out between each other, I loved that battle system. Where it did fall down for me is the story. I think it starts so strong. I think the story of this new reimagining of Kratos as this character who wants to atone, or not just atone, but wants better for his child. And it's don't be like me, and hides the truth from him, is really powerful stuff for a character that I didn't expect I would like, you know. It's Kratos, and here he is retold. And I played all the original God of Wars. I liked those games a lot, but I don't think I would have said I liked Kratos specifically as a character. I just enjoyed the gameplay and enjoyed playing them. But I felt there was something special here with the story of wanting your child to be better than you, or even being afraid to let them know who you really are in case they would want to follow that path. And there's an interesting part in the game where Atreus learns he's a god, and he gets arrogant, and he gets cruel, and he gets mean, and there's moments where, just moments of silence where Kratos and Mjolnir, kind of can see this in him, and they don't like it. And all this stuff is, going really well, and, you're where's the criticism? Where's my criticism in all of this? The story starts to just completely disintegrate, with Freya and her relationship to the antagonist Baldur. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the emotionality at the end. I thought the last boss fight felt weird. I thought her relationship to him wasn't that well telegraphed. I just didn't buy into the end of it. I was there for 3/4 of the way, and then that last quarter I was just no, you've lost me completely. I also think, in the same way we said Spider-Man used repeat animations, there is these, special kill moves you can do on creatures. Kratos uses the same kill move on those ogre giants over and over and over again, and the first time you see it, it's cool. The second time you see it, you're okay, and then you see it every time you fight one of those. So it starts to fall apart for me. I think the design is top notch. I really do. The first time I saw Valkyrie, I was like, that is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Really good.
That is just a cool design. It makes me excited for God of War 2. I feel so much. That studio was great, and there's such little details, Kratos punching open a chest and the secondary motion happening. There's just, it's one of those games that I was just wow, they really cared about making him believable, but it also feels empty. There isn't a lot of secondary characters. There's only its small cast.
That was the kind of thing I took away from it the most, and that's probably not fair, but it was just a case where the positive aspects about that game didn't really resonate with me, whereas so I kind of focused more on the negative. But again, it was a personal thing. It's not an indictment of that game at all, because obviously that game's an incredible achievement, and I think Cory Barlog, he poured his heart and soul into it, and I think that shows
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like, I didn't love it, I loved a lot about it, but there was moments where I felt bored, and there was moments when I felt like I was ready to move on. And if it goes out here, like, because you guys, like, John wasn't into it and Brian hasn't played it, like, I'm fine to let it go out here. It's not something I feel passionate enough to fight for.
I also think I think Brian would not like it.
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I do love father-son stories, so I don't know. I might end up playing this in a year or two if we go. I'm sure it'll be on PS Plus
eventually,
or it'll be on sale, or I don't know. I'm curious to try it out. To be honest.
Neve, is it your turn?
Yeah, it is.
So that's a big one. That's God of War gone.
That was a big one. Yeah, I was really curious to see how far that would go. I'm actually surprised it went out so early. At least in the terms, because that's one you could potentially see it in top 5.
Yeah, I just think compared to a lot of the other AAA releases that it would be kind of held up against, it's just not as strong as them, despite being, fantastic.
There's a lot of people who had a really strong response to it. Like, I am not a man, I do not have a son.
That you know of.
That I know of. So I think my limited relatability also, I thought it was good, but I was like, I'm not gonna cry over it. It's not. I
wonder if I had a kid, would this hit me harder?
Yeah.
Which I think is a perfectly fair response to it.
Like, I really want Piper to do well and maybe not follow in my footsteps, but she's a dog, so
she's doing pretty good.
She's doing pretty good, yeah. What do I want to cut?
At number 13.
At number 13, I'm gonna put forward Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Okay,
let me tell you guys about a special little lady called Android 21.
If your reason for keeping this game is that you want to bone Android 21, then no.
I don't want to bone Android 21, Neve. I want to make love to her. I think that's the worst thing I've ever said.
Are there any games, John, that you and I like that were kind of like, that we put before Dragon Ball FighterZ?
I think I like Dragon Ball FighterZ about as much as I like Monster Hunter World. You don't care about Monster Hunter World, Brian.
No.
You seem to enjoy Monster Hunter, Neve. You don't seem to have a lot of affection for it.
It has no narrative.
Sure. I think, you kind of maybe looking for the wrong thing there.
I figured that out pretty quick.
But, Monster Hunter World is a game that Monster Hunter finally made sense to me. And I have really enjoyed playing that with my cousin Brian. That's been a lot of fun. I think I'm okay with it ending here, because I know I'm the only one passionate about it. And it's also, I think there's a big difference between, if you guys played this, you would like it, and I know I'm going to be the only one who really likes it. Because, the thing I keep coming back to this is, this is the Let's Fight a Boss game of the year. What is it all? And I can't really think of a decent argument that Monster Hunter World should go further. I think it's a fantastic game. I think the Monster Hunter... What really made sense with me in this one is it's kind of in the title, it is the world. It is I think the job that does of conveying that you are in a wilderness with these giant monsters is fantastic. I think watching monsters clash for the first time is one of the coolest fucking things I have ever seen in a game. And I really loved it. And there was one stage during the year where I was having a tough time, and I would come home and I'd play 50 minutes of Monster Hunter and I'd leave it, and I did that, for every couple of days for 2 weeks, and it was a comfort, and it's a great game, and I'm glad I get Monster Hunter. I'm glad it makes sense to me now. And it doesn't go any further in this, but hell of a game, and can't wait to play more of it.
I want to say a few more words for Monster Hunter as well. I love the animation of those monsters. I love that design.
Some of the best animation in the entire...
So much so that it made me feel bad to kill them. And I know people think that's the lamest, weeniest thing you could say about this game. I know there was a big article about feeling guilt about killing them. But I think that's also a testament to the design and the animation of these characters, is that they feel real. And I feel like I was wailing on something that was injured.
Yeah, they're so believable. There's one of them as a boss in Smash Brothers. He's like a dragon dude. He's amazing looking.
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
They look rad.
And like some of
they
the
look great.
armor sets as well. And I actually am annoyed we didn't include Calicos for best pet.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah.
yeah.
I will say with the armor sets, like the male armor sets are cool. If you don't like titty armor, you're not gonna have a great time playing a female character.
The ones that are good are really good, but when you kill like the big Tyrannosaurus thing, fuck, what's it called? Can't think of it. But when you kill it and its armor is this titty bikini, like, it's sexist, but it also sucked.
Yeah,
Like, it
looked
was a
bad.
shit bikini armor. I've seen cooler bikini armor than this.
It's just like you look at the male armor and then the female armor, and it's just like, I'm working for that. And the reason I fell off of this is it's a Destiny, and I have a Destiny. It's Destiny 2. You know, I can't do two of those.
Nor should you.
Mm-hmm.
This was my destiny. Every time I say that on this podcast, it sounds so fucking weird.
But it is your destiny.
This game is my destiny. But that's what it was to me. It was comfort, it was repetition, and it's a really well-crafted game. I think it's fucking brilliant. And I think this is, talking about it now, I think this is the right spot for it to go out at. But
Number 13.
Number 13. I had a hell of a time.
Okay, so now we're into like 3 games, okay? And 2 out of those 3 games will not be in the top 10.
This is, I think, the cruelest portion of the entire thing.
So this is what gets 12th and what gets the worst spot, which is number 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have a special award for this. It's the Let's Fight a Boss number 11 best game of the year.
Yeah, because it's like, you didn't make it, buddy, but we still liked you a whole bunch, just we didn't really like you that much.
Okay.
Whose
Whose turn is it? Is it mine?
Is it mine?
Who cut Monster Hunter?
I think
I think I influenced you to
I
cut
think-
it.
Neve, I think you did.
Oh, I think
I don't know. I'm gonna say it was mine cut,
Yeah, okay.
and we'll go John.
okay, like, so is it you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about you just say 3 games in no particular order, and we
No,
just
I like
Hey.
I like this way of doing it
okay,
because just everything kind of gets its conversation. Then
sure.
This is hard. Okay, Ryan. Look, I'm not saying you need to cut this one, but I think I do need to hear you talk about it.
Yeah.
I need you to speak to me about Owlboy.
Owlboy is my favorite game of the year.
That's cool.
Shit. It's done. Owlboy wins.
Call it in, everybody.
I could talk about it now, or I could talk about it in a few games' time. Like, I'm cool with cutting Minute now if you want to do that.
Okay, I think if you're cool with cutting Minute, I'm cool with cutting Minute.
Okay, Minute's at number 12. I'm going to talk about Minute then.
Yeah.
Because this is one of my favorite games of the year. But there's one big problem with it. Okay, this is the second funniest and weirdest game I've played this year. After WarioWare Gold. Short, simple, amazing, and beat it in under 90 minutes, which as an adult is so
Just beautiful.
yeah. You could beat it in an hour and a half. I could do my chores as well. Pixel art is a great mixture of a lo-fi charm with just the right amount of information for you to tell what is the sea and what is the beach, because it's all in black and white.
One of the best looking games of the year.
Yeah, and you play as this little Tamagotchi looking dude. Like, I love the sprites of the Tamagotchi toys, so it's cool to see it as a video game. I think all the elements in this game, from like, the different parts of the map to the characters, even like characters that just say one line, like they all kind of have a role to play in this game, even if they're just like some NPC in a diner. I just think like it's populated just right, because you are just playing on this tiny little island that you explore outwards in 1 minute bursts. But I do think all the placements of all the different puzzles and characters you talk to all kind of feed into each other super well. It's got a very nice ending that's a cyclical ending, which is probably the best way to end that kind of game. You can replay it to get all the collectibles, which is a good incentive if you want to. I didn't feel like I needed to. I kind of got what I needed out of the first playthrough, and I'm fine to leave it at that. My one kind of gripe with the game is that it's like €10, and this is at best like a browser game. Like they are charging way too much for what this game is. And I do think if you're curious about this game, you should give it a go. I'd totally get it if you didn't want to play this game. That's my opinion on Minute.
I played a little bit of Minute. I kind of fell in love with it, with that little bit I saw.
Yeah.
Special little game. Great sense of humor. Super charming. Got real far. Got real fucking far. Is it you next, Brian?
Yeah.
It's getting harder because we're tired and there's more space in between cuts.
Okay.
As we wax poetic on these games.
Number 11.
Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Can I offer you a game?
Okay.
Sure.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Really?
I don't think that should go into the top 10.
Fair enough.
It's my turn to give it a eulogy.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, number 11.
There was a lot of marketing around this game having good representation as a game where you could romance members of the same sex. And a lot of LGBT people bought this, especially in the vacuum that's been created by BioWare and the news that Anthem won't have any romances or any of that kind of stuff in it, and it won't be as story-based as their past games. So I think people were looking for something to fill that void. This game is not this. Its representation ranges from 3 dead lesbian quest lines to a extreme trope of a character. The dialogue tree based stuff is not good. It's flavor text. It's people being like, it's you asking where you should go and then being like, you know where you should go kind of thing. It shouldn't have these dialogue options. They don't add anything to the story. They don't make Cassandra any different. It doesn't make her any good or any worse. There's just extra words you can say for extra dialogue that doesn't matter because the point on the map will glow anyway. So I think the stuff they added to this is what takes away from it compared to Origins. I think Origins is a much better game and didn't get as far as on our list because I was ready to sacrifice everything for Nier that year. But the good stuff about Odyssey is, because there is a lot of good stuff and there's a lot of fun to be had. Like, it's not in the representation part of it, but it's a really fun open world. You can cause as much chaos as you want. You can go to a camp and you can take on 20 people. You can try different weapons from like a bludgeoning tool to a spear to a sword. You can put poison on it. You can put fire on it. You have your horse. I got a unicorn skin for my horse. The game looks gorgeous. You can fight animals. You can fight lions, bears. The story ranges from dramatic to kind of boring to dramatic again. The stuff on the high seas is great, where you have your ship. The sea shanties everyone sings are great. If you change your ship crew to male or female, they'll sing different songs and in different ways. There's really good stuff about this game. It does suffer a bit from Ubisoft bloat. Like, you're 80 hours in and you're like, is this over? I don't know. How much further to go? It's so bloated that you don't know where you are sometimes, and you don't know how far. Like, you feel like you're nearly finished the story, but half the map isn't uncovered. But it's also such a huge sandbox with so much stuff to explore. And if you're into ancient Greece, it captures that. Like, it really does. You can go from different locations where they start mining marble, and you'll see that represented in the statues, and you'll see painted statues. It's a beautiful visual game, but anything they added to it, I think, wasn't necessary and only makes it worse for it. And I think Origins is a better game while this is enjoyable, and Cassandra is a very, very good and fun character.
Yeah. I think next to Origins, it's the most interested I've been in playing an Assassin's Creed game. And I think I'd nearly be a bit more interested just because I think Cassandra looks really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The very special Let's Fight a Boss 11th best game of 2018.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Sorry, dude.
I have once again completely misremembered whose go it is.
It's Neo's go, actually.
Yeah, that was Brian's. Sorry, I waxed too very poetic, but it was a big game in my life.
That was your game to eulogy.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Or Deltarune.
I think that's fair. Brian, you liked Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh, I did at the start of the year. Loved it.
Neve, you enjoyed Deltarune?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay, this is really hard.
Deltarune is a free game.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours of free fun. It's not going to change anyone's world,
No.
but it's tight and it's polished, and those characters are nice when they're not being terrible. I think Dragon Ball FighterZ looks fucking amazing.
Dragon Ball FighterZ is, you know the way people say licensed games are shit? You know, it's just a cash grab based on a franchise. This is the argument for it.
Dragon Ball FighterZ is arguably the best new fighting game in a decade.
For sure.
You know, like, new fighting game franchises, they don't come out that often because it takes so much work to make a fighting game. Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, and it is exactly what you want it to be. It is Arc System Works crossed with a fucking insane license. It is a dream game, and it's as good as it should be, you know?
I think this comes down to you then, because
Yeah, it's up to you, John.
Yeah, no, I know.
You're
I know.
the Undertale fanboy.
These are both going to be in the top 10. It's just a number beside them.
My head says Dragon Ball FighterZ should take it. I guess my heart says Deltarune. And it's hard because, like, I didn't enjoy Deltarune nearly as much as I enjoyed Undertale. I still really fucking liked it, though. And I still think there's a lot of really cool things about it, you know? And Deltarune, it's not perfect. There's shit I don't like about it, but it's not the polished experience that FighterZ is. FighterZ is incredible on so many levels. This is such a hard choice. Like, I'm okay with both these games going right now, if that's the way you guys want to take it. I'm okay with this being, like, number
9 and 10.
9 and 10. I think that's fine. I'm...
But, like, it's your call as to which one's 10 and which 9, okay?
Oh, it's hard. It's really hard. I really have a lot of affection for both these games, you know? I can't justify it, but I think I have to go with Deltarune as number 9 and FighterZ as number 10.
Sure.
I think at the end of the day, like, the reason I love playing games, you know, I love learning gameplay mechanics, especially fighting games. I love fighting games. And my favorite fighting games are my favorite games ever, and I consider Dragon Ball FighterZ one of the best fighting games of all time. It is difficult to quantify that against something like Deltarune, where the main appeal isn't like a kind of endorphic release. It's like just it appeals to my emotions, and there were parts of Deltarune that kind of got me a bit, you know? And so I think, in my estimation, if you guys are letting me decide the order of 9 and 10 here, Deltarune just edges out FighterZ.
Okay. I think FighterZ would go much higher. It's just there's another fighting game on this list that just unfortunately has a bigger impact.
That's like, if I'm, you know, being perfectly honest here, FighterZ is the second best fighting game I have played this year.
Yep.
To me. Like,
same, absolutely.
They're so fucking different. The personal preference is going to divide everyone. In my own estimation, there is a stronger fighting game on here.
Yeah. And like, this game is not in the arcades in Japan. It is purely a console release. But to have such a strong push in professional fighting games, I guess.
Yeah.
It really stands its own.
When you're bringing players like Sonic Fox against that like fucking insane Melty Blood player, these two fucking like old gods of fighting games that have been just dominating their respective fields for years and years and years, and then this fucking dream game comes along and finally they can fight and see which one of them's actually the best. That's incredible. That's like fucking legend shit, you know?
Yeah, and I just think with 3-on-3 fighters, the only other one that came out recently is that Marvel vs. Capcom 4 that's called Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate or something. Infinite, and that game is not a well-received game.
No.
So I just think 3-on-3 fighters are still going strong, they still exist, they still have their place, and it's with Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Okay, I guess last note I'd say on it is, here's how Fighter Z beats Deltarune for me. If the Fighter Z single player was better. It's not good. There's good cutscenes, but it's so drawn out, and it's so boring, and it's a real shame they kind of bungled that. But it's still a fantastic game, and it made me so happy to see it out. I think I nearly expected it to go higher, but it does feel right cutting it now. I think it and Deltarune, two of the best experiences I've had in games this year. Sorry to see them go, but I think that this is the right place for them. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And so then it's back to you, Brian.
It's back to me. Okay.
Getting into it.
Like, I'm not trying to be, like, picky on any game either. Can I test out how we feel about Bloodstained Curse of the Moon? Because I really, really like that game too.
The only game that I would maybe...
Because I'm looking at other kind of side-scrolling platformers in the same genre, and like, I'm looking at Bloodstained, Grease,
it's hard
and
with,
Owlboy.
It's hard with Bloodstained, because Bloodstained is a game we all played, and we all really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you have Dragon Quest XI, which is a game only I love. You have Gris, which is a game only Neve loves. And then you have Owlboy, which is a game that only Brian loves.
Yeah. So maybe,
how do we quantify that?
I guess we just have to say our bits about it one turn at a time.
I personally would bat for Bloodstained over Gris, I think.
Okay. I would not bat for Bloodstained over Dragon Quest.
Right. Bloodstained is my second favorite pixel platformer kind of throwback game of the year, I guess. But what does that mean?
It's your choice, Brian. You get to propose which one.
Dragon Quest XI or Gris? Because I'm just looking at the other games.
What number is this? Is this 7?
This is number 8, which is a cool number.
I feel like with a lot of my games, I've been saying, I think if you two played this game, you wouldn't enjoy it. I don't feel that way about Dragon Quest XI. I think Dragon Quest XI is a universal game. I think anyone with even a slight fondness for RPGs would love this game, and the level of care that's gone into every part of it, from like the fighting to the visuals, the music shit. The music's really bad. I actually turned off the music and I just play it with sound effects, and it's way better. But it's a really good game. If I'm going to be really honest, I think maybe Dragon Quest has yet to hit me in that emotional place it needs to become one of my favorite games ever. If it does, it will though. And so that's tough.
Yeah.
And I would definitely put Dragon Quest over Bloodstained.
Well, how about Bloodstained or Gris?
Gris or Grease. I think this is a game for animators and designers and illustrators. Like, I think you guys would like it and get a lot out of it, just visually. It's hard to, like, it's emotional. Like, the whole thing is running on emotion, but there's no story. You know, it's like, it's a feeling, and it's a strong feeling for sure, and it's all driven by amazing sound design. But I couldn't tell you what the feeling is. Loss, sometimes joy. It's just an emotional tapestry. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know, apart from visually, I don't know if it's something I'll be like, that touched me. You know, it was more like I experienced something beautiful, and then it left. You know, it didn't stay.
The thing I worry about there is I know the kind of game you're talking about, but sometimes I'll give that game to someone and they'll be like, no.
Yeah, I can see that happen to loads of people. I can see people being like, that was easy and I just ran through it, you know? And it's just like, well, it's not about like completing it. It's about being in it, you know? And I can totally see people not liking this and really, really hating it going far on lists. It was just a really unexpectedly beautiful game, and I really think, just as a creative person, that it's just something powerful about it in a way I can't quantify, but also in a way that I don't think I would, you know, I'd like it to go further, but I'd also be fine letting it go here, you know?
Yeah. I think we should put Grease at number 8 then.
Okay.
And then maybe have Bloodstained or Dragon Quest XI kind of following it. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I guess on that...
Yeah, I'm going to put Grease at number 8 anyway. We can talk about the others.
Yeah. I think I would like to see Dragon Quest go higher than Bloodstained.
Yeah.
Because I think that game really blew me away, like in a big way. But I'm okay with letting it go then.
Well, how about having Bloodstained number 7?
Yep.
Okay. I'll just say my quick thing about Bloodstained. Like, it's a retro throwback game, and it uses, like, you know, like it's a NES style pixel art platformer. But it's just, it teaches you about game design in such an organic way.
The levels of this game are so fucking tight.
Yeah.
Like, they're amazing. The way you can play through all of them with different characters, and like they all work. And not just that, you can also play them as when you know the way you can kill the secondary characters and get powers from them instead of actually taking them on your team. The levels also work as just these super linear levels where you can only go forward when you have those powers, and it changes the way the levels work completely, and it changes the boss fights completely.
Yeah.
This started off life as a Kickstarter stretch goal for the main game, like, which is just insane. Like, this was a stretch goal for a different game, and it's like, it's just so impressive. Like, I was playing it on the plane, and every time I reached a boss, I would like tap my girlfriend and be like, "Look at how cool this looks!" Like, it was so visually pleasing. The pixel art is amazing. It looks and feels cool.
Yeah, I just think if you appreciate video games and like really kind of get like the core of games and what like just breaking them down into their simplest form.
Yeah, if you want to see a game shaved back to its rawest elements and those elements perfected, this is the game.
Yeah, this is Bloodstained. It's fantastic. It's just not any of our favorites, but we all really respect and appreciate it.
Number 7. A Kickstarter stretch goal making it to number 7 ahead of so many other games is amazing. It'd be God of War, you know?
Yeah. It's a cool game.
Yeah, fair fucks to that game.
Cool game for cool dudes.
I love Dragon Quest XI. I really do. I don't think I love Dragon Quest XI as much as you love Owlboy, Brian, and I don't think I love it as much as you love Tomb Raider, Neve. So I'm okay with letting it go at number 6.
Okay, do you want to say a bit more about the game?
Yeah. Breaks my heart that this game isn't getting into the top 5, but I can't really make an argument for it, because what Dragon Quest is to me right now is this just amazing, just technical achievement of game design, of graphics, of everything that makes up a game. Dragon Quest is it, except the music, which is genuinely bad, from a composer who is a homophobic, awful man.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
Fuck that dude. But separating that, it is just like there's been 11 Dragon Quest games. This is the purest concentrated version of those games. The fucking joy I experienced playing this game, like all the enemies, all the like weird little tactics you could use, actually having a party of 8 people and not having a fucking clue which one I wanted in there, except for Jade for obvious reasons. It was amazing. You know, I really do love this game, and it is beautiful. And again, it's another one like, after we're done here, I could quite happily go home and play 3 hours of it very contentedly. I really hope you guys give this game a shot at some point. I think in particular you, Neve, I think you would really get a lot out of it. Brian, I think for you maybe more of a sale game, but I just
you know me and my deals.
Just because I'm not as sure, because
Yeah.
I think maybe it might be.
I've played some of the Dragon Quest games on the DS and 3DS.
Yeah, this is my favorite Dragon Quest game,
Okay.
and I love Sentinels of the Starry Sky, but I think this is a better game. This is the best RPG I've played in the longest time. Really, really is. And I'm really happy it got this far. I'm sad it's not going any further, but if you have any love for RPGs at all, you should play this game. Guys, we're into the motherfucking top 5.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. This is a vicious list now.
There are 4 AAA big budget fucking games and this little shit of a Brian game in there. And how much do we all love these games? Because there's one I love, and there's other games that we all have a real...
Just to run down for people, we got Owlboy, we got Red Dead Redemption 2, we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we got Yakuza 6.
There's actually one game that's missing from the list.
What? Did we mess up?
Shadow of the Colossus remake.
That'd be gone by now.
Oh, would have, yeah. But I'm just like, I don't know where... Do you know what that game would be like? 30 blump.
Yeah.
if it's a remake, I'm a little... But then Yakuza... No, actually, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is long gone.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, fuck it. Okay. Oh.
It's so hard to do this. I hope you're not dying listening to this.
Whose choice is this?
Is it mine?
I'm gonna say it's Brian. Yeah, it's Brian's.
Okay.
Maybe Brian has like had 4 goes in a row, but hey, it's Brian's go.
Okay. There's a game I can be very, very humble and polite about and say that's number 5. There's other games here, but like the games we all like. You really like Red Dead Redemption 2. You all really like Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Do we?
Smash Brothers.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I fucking hate that game.
Okay, yeah. How much do we like Red Dead Redemption 2?
So much. It's amazing. It's such a good game. I fucking hate it though. But
Same.
I really like it.
Yeah, same.
It's such a strange experience. I was so ready to trade that game in. I was just like, you waste my time. I hate you. A few nights ago, I went on a date with Mary where we literally just sat in a theater and watched a full theater show for 20 minutes.
Oh yeah,
I didn't do
I did
anything.
that.
I just sat there and went on a date with her and watched a show.
That sounds awful and amazing.
It was. It was so good. You could just shout out stuff like, go on, sweetheart, and shit like that. And it was great. And my heart broke for Arthur a million times because I was like, Mary treats him bad and he loves her so much. Red
Dead Redemption
so
2,
good.
the worst, best game of the year.
It really is. It's like, it's such a strange beast. I don't know. Like,
I don't think we're ready to let it go.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because like sometimes it's a complete waste of your time.
Absolutely.
And then other times you're like, whoa, loads of stuff happened. But sometimes I don't know. Okay, well then I'm gonna have to go with Owlboy at number 5. If we still want to hold on to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Tomb Raider and Smash and Yakuza, you know what I mean? Like it's just.
I think it went really far.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it sure did.
Okay, all right.
Shitty, stupid game about a dumb owl.
Fucking Owlboy. Otis the Owlboy. Okay, Owlboy.
Brian, sorry. Can I just say my piece on Owlboy?
Sure.
I've only played a little bit of this game. This is possibly the best looking pixel art I've ever seen.
For sure.
Just stunning constantly. Didn't get my claws into like the game enough to really say it any two way, but I was very charmed and I will probably play more of it. But Brian, I felt like you've had a lot to say about this game.
Okay. Owlboy by Brian. Owlboy is the sweetest and most charming game I've played this year.
Aww.
It's a simple video game story that reminds me of a simpler kind of game, but it doesn't feel nostalgic. Doesn't have any sentimental connection with the past. It reminds you of a 90s game, from the SNES era, or maybe a platformer from the N64, PlayStation 1 era. But it doesn't feel like one. It feels like you're playing one for the first time rather than replaying an old favorite. The contemporary pixel art is an evolution of what was possible on older hardware. Like, as you were both saying, it's pixel art at its absolute refined. Like, in 2018 and 2017.
I can make arguments for games that have as good pixel art. I cannot make an argument for a game that has better pixel art.
Yeah.
It's clouds. It's clouds. The amount of pixels in there to make them look as fluffy as damn possible is so much. Like, those look beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got a small cast of characters, but all their sprite designs and little animation flourishes that they'll have, they all really stand out to each other. It's got a great cast of characters that all kind of lend themselves well to the location, it is a small group of characters, but there's a big variety in terms of all their shapes and sizes and silhouettes and designs, I guess. Some of the characters you get introduced to early on in the game as antagonists join your party later as protagonists, which is something I love in video games. Love when it happens, because it just means they get to stick around for the rest of the game then. The main villain is introduced very quickly as well, so you kind of know who you're up against, and it just kind of gives you the stakes right away, which is nice. For certain games, you don't get to find out who the bad guy is until like the last hour or two.
Good feeling of like momentum and stuff from the controls. Like,
yeah. The difficulty curve is very smooth. Each new area unlocks organically with your new abilities acquired from the buddy system. It can be played at a comfortable pace without any hand-holding. Soundtrack is also amazing, and the same with the sound design. Sometimes the soundtrack just fades away and it's just sound design of wind or seagulls cawing in the distance, and he uses those kind of quiet moments super well. Like, there's bits where you visit a graveyard and his run cycle suddenly changes to a very solemn walk, and you just have to, and like it takes you twice as long to get
fantastic.
there.
That's really
but
good.
Like it's all done in the detailed build up. It was almost 10 years in development, pretty much made by one person, but it still has a strong sense of focus. Like, usually when you find out a game is made by one person, it's used as a form of defense, which is what we did with Saving Mr. Taco.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, it's like, no, like, this was made by one person, and that's it's not a problem.
And it feels personal.
Yeah, oh, it is.
Like, I have no idea who this guy is. I feel like there's a lot of him in this game.
Yeah. I follow him on Twitter. I can't remember his name. Like, he's a really, really talented artist.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good drafts person as well. It's just he does sprite and pixel art really, really nicely as well. The game is only 4 or 5 hours long, which is great game length, and I highly recommend it. It's on the Switch. It feels so good to play it in handheld or up on the big screen. Yeah. Whatever works.
Congratulations to Owlboy for an achievement from one person making it to number 5. That is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Neve, I feel like we gotta have a conversation, me and you.
Okay.
I love Yakuza 6 like I love few games. This game made me cry. Just fucking open weeping, because like the journey I had been on with these characters and the way it concluded, like I think the way they concluded Kiryu's story in this game is absolutely just beautiful, and not really the way you think it's going to end. You know, it doesn't end with Kiryu drowning in a puddle of his own blood being like, I did this all for you. You know, it ends in a really sweet way, and I think in a lot of ways this game encompasses the best of Yakuza, because it is funny and it's entertaining and it's amazing, but it's so sad. It's one of the saddest games I've ever played, and the experiences I've had with it are going to stay with me for a really, really long time, and I love it. But it's the second best Yakuza game I've played in 2 years. And it's also very personal to me, you know. Brian, have you played Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Oh yeah.
You seem pretty up on it.
No, like, it's a really, really good game. I've no gripes with it. I've no like pushes for it either. Like, okay. I'm happy wherever that game goes.
I guess what I'm saying, Neve, is that is how I feel about Yakuza 6.
Okay.
If you feel more strongly about Tomb Raider, I'm okay with Yakuza 6 going out now.
I'll tell you how I feel about Tomb Raider, and we can figure this out together, because to be honest, I don't know. This, like Yakuza 6, is the send-off to this trilogy of this version of Lara, this reboot version of Lara. And I think it is the accumulation of the last 2 games. People wanted more puzzles and they wanted more tombs. They got them. And these tombs aren't just, you know, a simple puzzle. I walked into one and it was a Spanish galleon, like this crash ship. and it was this entire thing that you could miss and never ever see. And the puzzle was engaging and interesting, and it was like, it was gone and it was done, and then it was back to the main story. There's so much stuff like that. There's so much like challenge tombs. There's so much like just little places to explore that is so visually distinct that it could be like a end level of any other game. Like, that ship looks so freaking cool. It could have been the end level of anything else. To go from stuff like Uncharted and Assassin's Creed, where the climbing is very, very non-involved, you have to be on your shit when you climb in Tomb Raider. You have to be ready to use your axe, to use your rope and your rappel. Like, you have to.
Yeah, like you really are thinking. You're not in some automatic mode, because sometimes you remember that you can rappel left and right to wall run, but that only comes up occasionally in the game.
It's like it's climbing as part of the gameplay. Like, there's climbing in God of War as well, and it's just to get to A to B. This is like, the gameplay is climbing and you doing it well and you figuring out the timing of things and things breaking underneath you. And
it's you like zigzagging around an obstacle rather than going like in an A to B to C. You're going like all the way up to like, I don't know, Q.
Yeah.
To get to it.
Or you land on this place and you're like, hey, it looks like I could climb that area. And you start climbing and then you end up on this random puzzle. And the puzzles are like, they're really, really good. Like, the first one you meet is a Mayan number puzzle. And earlier on, like, I think I spoke about this before, but Lara talks about how she thought a number was a unit of 10, but it was actually a unit of 5. And that information then carries over into this puzzle, and you have to go and look at her sketchbook. And it makes Lara feel, and you feel by extension, that you're discovering something. You're like, I think I know the answer to this. And then you try and do it, and through trial and error and just kind of logic, you'll get there. And it's like a puzzle that's never too horribly difficult, but never too easy. Like, it feels like you've figured something out, and you're like, cool, I got it. You know, I got this. It has the thing of Tomb Raider where suddenly it becomes an action game. There's these zombie creatures that you fight, and you gotta whip out your shotgun. Mm-hmm. It is not forgiving either. Like, if you get hit by one of those twice, you'll die. So you have to be good with your shotgun, and you have to upgrade that, and you gotta move her ass quick. It looks so good. Like, it does. Is so good looking.
It looks amazing on the PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Like, oh man.
I think this looks better than Red Dead 2.
Same. Totally. Like, the foliage, like the jungle, like, it looks gorgeous when she moves through, like Arthur moving through snow at the start of Red Dead is cool. Lara moves like that through mud, and she's a run animation where she runs like an idiot because she's keeping her knees up to her chest trying to make her way through that shit. Yeah. She's covering herself with mud and stuff. Like,
I really like when she blends herself into trees and bushes, like a wall of bushes, but they do a good job of like layering her inside. Mm-hmm. It's not just like they're snapping animation. Mm-hmm. And like she does brush off against all those individual bits of foliage really well.
Yeah, like if you'll bang off things and they will move. Like when you're like traversing things, rock will fall underneath your feet, and so will skulls and stuff. It has that weird thing where it goes slightly into survival horror as well, because it's like a Mayan apocalypse and there's ritual sacrifice, so there's just like bodies and gore that sometimes she has to move through.
Yeah.
If you like archaeology, which I do, and if you like nature, which I do, like, there's so much stuff there. Like, I got a side mission, it was a guy being like, there's wolves in a cave, go kill them. And I was like, oh, wolves. And then I arrived, and we're in Peru, so they were obviously a Peruvian wolf. It was a maned wolf, which is like, it kind of looks like a giant fox. And it was this moment of, oh, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh, that's an animal native to this area.
Yeah.
And they really tie in the natural geography of Peru, and South America into the game. Like, there was also this place where I found a little note just about a death mask, and I was like, I wonder if that's real. And I googled it, and it was this death mask with like human teeth inlaid with mosaic pieces. So if you're into that stuff, it has this so much information and lore of the real world that builds itself into Lara's world, and I think all of that stuff is really, really cool. Is it emotional? No. Is Lara emotional? No. Is that why I love Lara? Yes. You know?
Yeah.
It's her mission. Like, she's doing it. It's not she has no personal stake. The love of her life was Sam, and that happened in the first game, and she hasn't been included because I think Crystal Dynamics are afraid of people making Lara a lesbian. So she's hanging out with Jonah.
Yeah, Jonah, the most non-sexual friend ever.
Yeah, who she's like, it's my best friend, Jonah. Like,
and like he is designed in a way that like they are not physically compatible
at all.
because like you no like it wouldn't work.
Yeah, they are just friends. But I think that's also sweet. I like her and Jonah's relationship. I like that she calls him her best friend and that he's there for her and they're worried about each other, you know? So yeah, it's like I like a lot about this game, but I think it's a very me game. Like
that leaves us with a problem because Yakuza 6 is a very me game.
Okay, but then what about Red Dead Redemption 2? Like is that a game that like really like
oh my god,
does Red Dead Redemption 2 sort of like define your personality in the same way a Yakuza or Tomb Raider would?
Red Dead Redemption 2 is the 48th best game that came out this year. But it's also the number 1.
yeah, like if that was our number 1 game, I'd be happy. If it was cut earlier, I wouldn't be too sad about it either. I don't know, because like with Yakuza for John, it's like a John game, and it's accumulation of what a John series. Same with Shadow to me, it's a Neve game that's an accumulation of Neve games.
I don't know. I think both of those games have a stronger resonance. Like I really, really like Tomb Raider. I'm only a couple hours into it, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I want to play more of it. My girlfriend loves the Yakuza series, and I saw a lot of Yakuza 6, and it was super impressive. And I've seen the final cutscene of that game, and it got me.
Yeah.
Like, it is such a good celebration of that series.
There's a part where either Kiryu cries or comes very close to crying, and it was the strongest I can't handle this right now I've ever had while playing a video game.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think these games need to go a bit further, just because.
I don't. That's so. Okay, there is one game on this list we have not talked about at all, and it's Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I think we have to kind of talk about that.
Sure.
I fucking love this game.
Same.
I love it so much. This game makes me feel in a way about Smash Brothers that I haven't felt since Melee.
Absolutely, I'm the exact same.
I think it is a magical game, and a level of love that's gone into it. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but like, you know, we're kind of that's what gets games this far. Fucking just love poured into every single part of them. I love Smash Brothers Ultimate, and like it's tiny things. It's the fact that they've animated everyone's faces so that when you zoom in to someone getting the shit beaten out of them, they're making the most fucked up, stupid face, and like. Donkey Kong, we were talking at this point, gets so angry with everyone who's attacks. But not only that, they've made this like extensive single player game.
Yeah, that I'm 9 hours deep into, and I'm barely scratched it.
Yeah, and just the presentation, the difference to presentation they made, the effects they've added to the fights, it is fucking just phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I am blown away by this game. So I do think it deserves to hang in the top 4. Right now, in this instant, I can't put it before or after any of the other games. Then it's difficult as well because Neve has never played Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I don't know how much she'd even give a shit about it, honestly.
I don't think anyone who isn't a Nintendo fan would give a shit about this game, because I think what's nice and what people seem to like about it is its love and reverence for all things Nintendo.
But it's also more than that, because there is love and reverence to series outside Nintendo as well.
Yeah,
and I'm not even
just Japanese video game
I'm not even
franchises.
talking about like guest characters. So say like there's a character, if a character has been on a Nintendo console, it's a spirit in this thing. And like I play through the spirit mode and I see dozens of these fucking crazy looking Japanese characters, and just they're all so well drawn and illustrated that I love seeing them.
I'm not saying it as a negative, I'm saying it as a positive. But I'm also saying it as a like it's got nothing for me. But I don't mind letting it go further than other games, because Nintendo is this big deal for a lot of gamers, and like even the fact that you said that their faces are animated when fighting and stuff like that. I just like dunked on Assassin's Creed for not bothering to animate Cassandra's face when she's doing a swing.
There's so much stuff like that as well. Like when you knock a person off the stage, this massive, beautiful, like billow of effects smoke comes out and it goes across the entire screen. So for a second, you can see the exact path they took, which is like really interesting for these games. when you do when like someone is damaged enough and you get a final hit on them, the game slows down for like a quarter of a second and zooms in on the final hit so you can see all the detail, and it is the most satisfying fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, this to me is my favorite Smash Brothers they have ever released.
I'm
love
the
this
same.
game.
I have such a good connection with this game.
What do you think about people, and like I was just listening to Giant Bomb and stuff, and like people were saying it's a 0.5 of the last game. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Absolutely disagree, and that is coming from someone who saw the first trailer of this game and was like, that's a 0.5. They've added, like, how many new characters?
Over 70. I think it's 76.
Okay, but like the brand new characters, the new assets, they all feel fucking amazing. King K. Rool, Simon Belmont is so much fun to play. Incineroar is now my main.
Yeah.
Ridley's
like...
Ridley's fucking weird, but I like him.
So cool.
Yeah.
I've got a few things to say about Smash Ultimate.
Okay.
Because I want this game to go far. I love this game. For me, it's the most astounding and refined game I've played this year. I've played almost 30 hours of this game. I've unlocked every character, put a good dent in the single player. I've played a lot of local matches. I hit the 100 match counter just the other day. Haven't touched the online, and I've heard bad things about it.
So, the online is bad, and I've played it, but they patched it today.
Okay.
And it's way better.
That's great.
Now, it's still got some ways to go, and, like, for me, earlier in the week, I was like, I think Smash Brothers could be my personal game of the year if the online wasn't shit. Then they improved it.
Okay, yeah. All right. When this was first announced, I was super apprehensive, but the kind of gradual feeling of excitement and hype as each subsequent trailer came out, and then actually getting the game and not being disappointed is such a great feeling.
Yeah. This just feels like a game where they went so much further than they needed to. They didn't need to make this game. They didn't need to put in Spirit Board. They didn't need to put in like adventure mode. Like Neve, here's the thing with this game. Like, I played through the arcade as Simon Belmont. The last boss in it was Dracula from Castlevania, who's not a playable character, built with a brand new character model, had his move set from Castlevania, and like looked amazing. And the fight, because of how malleable the Smash Bros. System is, it felt like the boss fight from Castlevania. And I think that shit is incredible.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the same with Kirby in Classic Mode. You fight against Marks, and it's the exact same boss fight from the Super Nintendo, but just done
recreated in the Smash Brothers engine.
Yeah.
And like, not only that, but like with the Spirit Board mode, it's like you fight characters from the game, but who are inhabited by spirits, and the lengths they go to make you feel like you're actually fighting a different character is insane.
Yeah.
So say like this Dr. Wily from Mega Man, and it's like there's a Dr. Wily assist trophy, so they will always have that Dr. Wily assist trophy out and attacking you as you fight a giant robot who's like a metal version of another robot character, and it adds all these variables to the fight to really make it feel like you're actually fighting a completely unique character.
Yeah, there's one where you fight Otacon from Smash, but it's Dr. Mario with 3 robots as well. There's one where you fight a Blooper, but it's just the Inkling with the gravity change so that he's like falling very slowly. Just all these weird, like, okay, that's like a good halfway idea of like you fighting this character.
There's a Pokemon, I think it's not Greninja, it's this really weird Pokemon where it has one HP, but it's really hard to hit, like it's immune to nearly everything.
Yeah.
You can fight that Pokemon, and the way they do it is it's really small and it has 1 HP, but it's really fast and it avoids conflict, so it keeps running away from you.
Yeah, so you're just chasing it around the stage.
And there's hundreds of these fights. Like it's fucking insane. It's such an astounding feat of a game.
Yeah, like it's super customizable, huge selection of characters, stages, music. You can have Fire Emblem only matches, Pokemon only matches, Mushroom Kingdom.
This game is a better PlayStation All-Stars than PlayStation All-Stars.
It's like an encyclopedia archive with a fighting game attached to it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's
really cool.
Okay, we've talked about enough of that for the moment. I think I'm okay with quitting Yakuza 6. I love that game, but it is the only game on this list where only I really care about it.
Okay, if you're okay with that.
I need to think about it. It might be my game of the year. I feel super fucking lame having Yakuza 0 as my game of the year last year and Yakuza 6 as my game of the year this year. But I think that might be the way it is. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't think Yakuza is really for you, Brian. I think you have an appreciation for it.
Yeah,
but I don't think you super enjoy them as games. And I think you're kind of the same, Neve. I don't think I can. I do feel, everything I said about Yakuza 6. I think it's an amazing game. I think it's the perfect send-off to Kiryu. I think it is emotional and distinct, and I think it has a personal feel that a lot of games with budgets this size don't have. And I would have loved to see it break the top 3, but I think the argument against it is this is mine and not ours, and so I'm okay at letting it go at 4. So I'm going to hit 4. Say goodbye to my beloved Yakuza 6. Thank you for everything you provided me with this year.
Thank you, Kiryu.
Thank you, Kiryu.
Pour one out for Kiryu.
Pour one out for a stone cold motherfucker.
In the same vein, I'm going to let go of Shadow of the Tomb Raider now.
Okay. At number 3.
At number 3, I really love the reboot series, what they've done with Lara and Tomb Raider. It makes me sad that this might be the last one we get, and I think it probably will.
Well, what are they going to make The Quiet Man 2 with?
Square don't seem to give a shit about it. They seem to not into marketing it. This had the least marketing of all of them, despite being the best one in terms of gameplay. It has got so much in terms of accessibility. If you don't like puzzles, turn the puzzles down and turn the combat up. If you don't like the combat, turn the combat off and turn the puzzles up. You can make that game your game.
That's really cool.
Yeah, in a way that's unexpected.
You can tone down the highlighting of puzzles.
Yeah.
If you want to if you don't want it sticking out like a sore thumb.
And I've done that. I've turned off the kind of finder detective mode stuff. I've turned all the markings for the puzzles off. I feel like I'm climbing something. I feel like it's dangerous. I feel like when I fuck up, I feel really bad for Lara. There's also its silly moments. Lara was given cultist garb to blend in. Then when the guards are like, who goes there? In her big British accent, she's like, she'll give the password. She'll be like, 2 stones flow in the wind or some shit like that. And they're like, yeah, okay, seems legit. Yeah, in you go. There's stupid, you have to expend disbelief for it as well. But what it does well, which is tomb raiding and exploring and archaeology, it does the best any game ever has, and I think this game series has been much better than the Uncharted game series for all of the stuff I've said above: climbing, archaeology, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm really happy with the series, and I'm really happy it got to number 3 in our Let's Fight a Boss Game of the Year list.
Yeah.
Okay, got one more showdown. It's Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay. So for one of these games, it makes me feel good 50% of the time, and for the other one, it makes me feel good 100% of the time. And you have to kind of respect the numbers.
That's such a bad way of putting it. Respect the numbers. I have had such a fucking fight with Red Dead. But, I come out of it being this is something so uniquely special.
Here's my argument for and against Red Dead.
Okay.
I have dropped Red Dead so many times. I have picked Red Dead up so many times. I can't keep away from this stupid fucking game.
Yeah, and there's something about it that feels like the monotony of real life, of having to wash Arthur, having to cut his hair.
I think there's... I get bored and I get frustrated, but I think there's value and weight to it as well,
Oh, there is. I had a moment where Arthur fell in dirt. He had this terrible date with Mary, and things just went bad and everything went shit. And I felt so bad for the digital character. I brought him to Saint Denis. I met him buy the best meal in town. I got him a bath. I met him have a good sleep, and I got his hair cut.
hire a lady.
No, I never get the lady because I did it once and it's weird.
Yeah.
I think Arthur wants to be alone.
I hired a lady and Michelle walked in. And like we just haven't really been right since.
Oh dear.
I've never been so driven to take care of a character before. I've never been so driven, like, I guessed where this game was going in chapter 2. I knew he was getting sick. Like, someone literally coughed into my mouth and I was like, I'm gonna get TB and die. And like, as it's been going, I think I've got TB and I think I'm gonna die. But as Arthur progresses, I noticed his skin started getting redder on his cheeks and his nose. And I was just like, you don't look so good, buddy. Or he stands with more of a slouch. You know, there's little moments that aren't narratively scripted. They're just happening to him as I progress the game.
And I feel like I have complicated feelings about some of those other characters. Fuck Dutch.
Yeah,
but
fuck
Dutch is
Dutch.
the best.
Yeah.
He's doing his best for everyone, but also he's a fucking liar.
He is. He's a liar.
Yeah.
I really believe that Arthur believes in Dutch.
Yes, and like to me that relationship is it's kind of what I'm there for, you know. I think there's bad things about this game.
Yeah,
like
they're
bad things. I hate the shooting and the story missions. I think they suck.
There's bugs everywhere.
Now I like the story. I hate the story missions.
Yeah.
The shooting becomes less shit, which is weird to say. Like, it does become, like, the missions become more varied and more interesting. Like, you go to a party and you have to blend in, you have to gather information.
See, that shit, the shit with Lenny, going for the drink with Lenny, amazing. One of the best experiences I've had in games this year.
That's fucking, good shit.
You go onto a boat where you have to play a poker game, and someone behind you is, like, holding up fingers of how you should bet and kind of stuff, and you're trying to, like...
See, that's the shit I want from this game.
And
like,
it's there.
They could take the shooting out, and I'd be happy. But then it is bogged down in some old school game design I think sucks now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is like a real surprise game for me. It's a real surprise that I wanted to be our winner. But it does have its problems. It really, really does. I don't know if it should be an open world. Like, I really struggle with that sometimes. But then I also love exploring that world. And I love Arthur's little notebook where he sketches the faces of everyone he meets. Like, everyone in that camp, he does a little portrait of.
It makes me sad when fictional characters are better than me at drawing.
Have you done any of the, like, trying to find the old gunslingers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love those kind of missions.
Okay, here's the thing for me. That mission bugged out.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't know what happened. I ended up killing one, and then I found the other two, and then the checkpoint the guy was just gone. Like, I never got to finish the quest.
Oh.
There is stuff like that. I've had stuff bugged. Like, I finished, like, the train robbery, and as we were riding away, and we were just having a conversation where we were like, good job, we did that, now let's scatter. Then my horse sunk into the ground, and we all died, and I had to do it again.
And, like, I've had other stuff, like, you know, I'm chasing a wagon, and I shoot the wagon, and it crashes, and then I fail the mission because the wagon crashes. Then I replay the mission, I get maybe another 10 seconds ahead, and then a cutscene plays where the wagon crashes. And it's like,
It plays by its own rules, but when I learned the rules, which took a very, very long time, and I was ready to play by them, I had a much better time. Like, I don't know, I like this game a lot. I like Arthur a lot.
And then, like, I had another time where I can't remember if I told the story on the podcast, stop me if I did, but I was just out in some weird fucking swamp, and I got drunk with some weird guy and his sister, and things got real weird, and it was amazing.
I went around the shop in Rhodes. It was a gun shop, and there was a guy underneath the building, and Arthur's like, what the fuck are you wearing? So Arthur sticks up the gun clerk, and he goes in, and the gun clerk had kidnapped a grown man and had dressed him as his child and chained him to a bed because he had accidentally killed his son and wanted a replacement son.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like shit like that. You would never find it unless I just like went around the corner because I was like passing between two buildings and there was just like this guy being like, help me, you know? And like I had a decision, do I kill this guy? Do I set the guy free? And like I set the guy free and he was like, oh god, you're so fucked up. and like he went running out in his like adult boy clothes. And like it was just like, it's weird, like there's weird shit, but then there's also like, you think you can go into a house and you can't, it's just a box that's a prop. I love my horse, I like brushing it. I don't know, like
he's so nice to that horse.
I am a big fan of Willy Tim. I do feel bad whenever I ram him into a tree.
God, you guys are awful.
I do like when he feeds him an oat cookie and he's like, there. I love when you first hear his voice and you're like, that's the guy I'm going to be playing as.
Brian,
his voice is brilliant.
what do you think of this game?
I don't know. I think this is a great game, but I find some parts of it incredibly frustrating. I really wish I liked it more, but some of the flaws in it like kind of push me back from enjoying. But then I really like the good parts of it. Like I am conflicted on it. It's an amazing game that's full of problems.
I think then it sounds like a number 2 game. Like for us, for this podcast, for us, like you guys are so up on Smash. It sounds like the detail in it is just extraordinary, and they've kind of gone above and beyond what they needed to do with it.
Completely, like just to such an insane degree that I was not expecting.
Like I thought it would just be a bit of an extension of Smash for Wii U and 3DS, but it's
not at all.
No, it's very much its own game.
I think that's going to do it then. I think that is Red Dead Redemption 2 at number 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I do kind of feel bad because in a way I do feel like we never talked about Smash Bros. On the podcast.
No,
I do feel like you're a little blindsided by this, Neve.
No, you would think so, but like not really. Like I kind of knew that Brian kind of had fallen in love with this just from our like private chat and stuff, and just even seeing other people's hype over it. I wish I liked Nintendo, because this is like this love and reverence, not in a nostalgic way, but just in an appreciative way for history, seems cool. Like, you know, it really does seem cool, but I'm not, like, I find it a difficult fighter to play. The action is too small for me, you know. It's not my game to play.
I think it is very difficult to win someone over with Smash Brothers if they don't like that initial feel.
Yeah, but if we're comparing it to like Red Dead, I was ready to trade that in, and then I fell in love with it, you know? Yeah. You guys love this.
I really love Ultimate a lot. And it is... Do you remember like how I made fun of them when they were like, we've made 10,000 changes to the game? Mm-hmm. It feels like that though.
All like tiny little
just
changes.
The weight of the smash attacks feel so good. Like, God, I was playing it on the train back from Cork today, and even just landing that perfect smash attack on someone, it feels amazing.
Yeah, like you are in more control of this game than you've ever been, because sometimes you do feel cheap shotted, but I think it like because it's such a fast-paced game, and if you've more than 3 or 4 characters, it does get into a skirmish.
But even then, I feel like I'm learning. Like, one thing I was never actually used before is short hops. You know, if you press like attack and jump at the same time, you'll do a little hop.
Yeah.
And since I got good at that, like, I have won so many more fights.
The game is parrying as well now.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that.
You like time and then untime a shield.
So you tap.
And you have a 6 and it's got a 6-frame window.
Because I've seen people do it to me, but I want to go home and try that out. But then like there's other stuff as well. Like, you collect spirits and they make you more powerful. There's power level in spirit challenges now. So some of the spirits you fight, they're like, you know, the big fucking killers of series. Like, you'll fight Ness's dad, who's like, you never see him in the game, and so in actuality he's Solid Snake and he's invisible, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, just an adult man.
But he's really strong as well, and he has like an actual power level, and if your spirits aren't powered up enough, you can't do anything to him, and it creates this whole other progression within the spirit board where like...
Yeah, because the spirit board is just a big map, but you need to like bounce around the entire map to unlock gates.
And it's such a good feeling of going back to a spirit that whooped your ass before with your new badass... You can evolve spirits like you can evolve Pokemon.
Kind of sounds like a bit like a gacha game.
It does. Yep. It kind of feels like something like Love Live as well, where you're feeding two cards into each other to make a better card, and like you can grind all these cards in the background of playing
and then you
the story
can
game.
customize your character with different effects, like lightning doesn't affect them, or they have super floaty jumps, or they get a triple jump, and all this kind of stuff. And the feeling of going back to a really overpowered spirit you couldn't beat and demolishing them with your new team, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do we need to give Red Dead Redemption 2 its proper eulogy? Or is there anything left to be said?
I'm gonna play more of this game next year. I only got a loan of it from you, and I played the first 2 chapters, got into the 3rd chapter, but I want to continue this game.
Yeah, me too.
It's so intriguing.
One of the highest praises I can give a game is I can't wait to play more of it over Christmas, because I only played the best shit over Christmas, and that's what I'm doing with this.
Same. I can't wait to play more of this. Even after I'm done, I'm pretty sure I'll play some online mode. I fell in love with that world in a way I never expected to, and same with those characters. There's a death later on, and I was like, no, not you.
Rockstar made something fucking different and broken and supremely interesting. Like, just what an amazing game on so many levels. And I do like it. I do love it. It is hard to see past the things I don't like about it, but the fact that I'm willing to tolerate them for the experience I think it is, like, that says a lot about the game. And the people who worked on it should be incredibly proud. Yeah,
I'm happy with our list. I'm happy with this.
So do you want to give a call back to the top 10?
Top 10.
Okay, so in
actually, can we give a little shout out to the number 11?
Okay,
game?
so in at number 11 we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Way to go, buddy.
The Let's Fight a Boss special number 11 game of the year.
Then at number 10 we have Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Fantastic game.
Fuck yeah. Number 9 we have Deltarune. Very special game. Number 8
we have Gris.
Number 7 we have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 we have Dragon Quest XI. Sorry, John.
It's alright. That's fine.
Number 5 we have Owlboy.
Number 4 we have Yakuza 6. Number 3 Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Number 2 Red Dead Redemption 2. And number 1 Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And that's going to do it for our award show. Except we have one more award to hand out. It's Neve's least favorite time of the entire year. We have the Let's Fight a Boss champion of hopes and dreams. It is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate versus Metal Gear Solid 5, the reigning supreme champion of the Boss Cast. Neve, how are you feeling?
I don't care about either of these games. The winner should be Nier Automata. It always should have been. It's the best game.
I don't know, guys. Overwatch, just saying.
The best game.
I think maybe we should bring Undertale back into this argument.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, let's bring in fucking Quiet Man, John.
Metal Gear still wins.
I don't know. I feel honestly like me. We pushed you pretty far with letting a game you've never played and don't care about win Game of the Year. I'm not gonna fight you. I think to me, Smash Brothers comes close, but also, I did my most played games on PS4, and Metal Gear Solid 5 was it.
Yeah.
And I still fucking love that game.
Look, if fucking Metal Gear beats Nier, it beats Smash Brothers.
Oh, Smash is better than Nier.
Shut up.
I even think Smash Brothers with a spirit mode, it does a lot of the kind of thematic things Nier was trying to do.
Stop it.
In spirit
it's Metal
mode,
Gear.
In spirit mode, I got a Major Ocelot sticker or spirit card, but then I fed him enough points and then he turned into Revolver Ocelot.
Okay, Neve, here's something that could happen. What if 2B ends up in Smash?
No, she's in Soul Calibur and we got that super early. 2B doesn't sell anything.
Neve, what if 2B ends up in Smash, but Sans from Undertale also ends up in Smash? Wouldn't that be radical?
Okay, so Metal Gear Solid is 5? Was it 5? Was it 4? 5 is our still reigning champion that will never be beaten.
What's the official title?
coolest game for the
Yeah,
coolest
the
guys.
ultimate queen.
No, it's the Let's Fight a Boss Champion of Hopes and Dreams.
Okay,
Oh,
the Let's
yeah.
Fight a Boss Champion of Hope and Dreams is still Metal Gear 5.
For like
Phantom
the fourth
Pain.
year
For the
running.
fourth-
Okay.
And like the thing is, I would put Yakuza 6 over Metal Gear Solid 5.
I would put so many games over
Me
Metal
too.
Gear.
You know what? I would put fucking Bloodborne over Metal Gear Solid
Yes,
5.
yes. Can we
Yeah,
change
same.
it to Bloodborne?
We cannot. That's not how this works.
Unfortunately, no. Did you play Metal Gear Solid 5 this year? Either of you?
No.
No.
I did.
Why?
Still good?
Yeah, it's still good.
Okay,
I
right.
just wanted to replay some of the boss battles. I did I did the White Mamba fight. I did the Quiet, and I did Sahelanthropus, just to see if they were good.
I really
So
like
there.
that game, but we're never gonna be able to remove it from there.
Or will we?
No, we won't. Definitely not this year.
Not this year. But you know what? Got some good stuff coming next year.
Yeah. Are there any games we're looking forward to in 2019? Is
Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
Now there's a fucking game that could do it.
Kingdom Hearts. There you go.
Kingdom.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's
That looks
amazing.
fun.
Yeah.
That looks really, really good. Oh.
I think Death Stranding comes out next year.
Be like,
How fucking lame would it be if the game that dethrones Metal Gear Solid 5 is Death Stranding?
we don't know.
It could
It
happen.
could be the
It could
greatest-
happen.
I know, but it's just so stupid that it's like this stupid Kojima game and then another stupid because we're a bunch of idiots that really like Hideo Kojima.
Well, he's cool.
He's alright. I'm trying to think what else is coming out next year that could be really good.
Nothing.
I'm sure there's a ton of stuff. We're just we're tired.
Yeah, we're all burnt
We've
out.
been podcasting for like 5 hours.
We certainly have.
Okay, so I guess before we finish up, one other thing I want to cover, and basically the day that we're recording this, an announcement went out from the Super Best Friends that they're disbanding the YouTube channel, and that their podcast Matt and Wooly are going to be starting a new podcast, or Pat and Wooly are going to be starting a new podcast, and Matt is kind of going to go and pursue his own stuff. And I guess I just want to talk about this a little bit because the Best Friends, like they meant a lot to me over the years, and I'm not talking about like them pushing my YouTube channel or becoming friends with them, even though that is one of the coolest things that came out of this entire thing. I'm talking about just years and years of watching their content and listening to their podcast. And even before I knew those guys, it felt like I knew those guys. And I think that's how it is with a lot of people. And it's really sad that it's ending, you know? Like, I think it was such a strange feeling today. Like, Brian messaged me on the train, and they really have been a part of my life for the longest time, and one of the reasons I wanted to start a video game podcast so badly. And their DNA is in this podcast for sure. And
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Neve and Brian, like, you guys were never into them as much as I would, but even then, I think like
They did a great job of kind of discussing games informally and casually from a non-journalist perspective, where they're just video game nerds with a microphone in front of them.
yeah,
And that's kind of what we are as well. That's kind of what they introduced and made possible.
yeah, and definitely like I can think of a lot, and like I think a lot of people have this with them, that it's like, you know, there's a lot of times where like you are down or it's not easy, and it's stuff like that. It's silly, and you're watching these idiots just, you know, play a game, but it takes you out of whatever you are going through. And to be honest with you, like if this podcast and what we do even meant a fraction of what they meant to me, I think, you know, I'd be really infinitely happy that we were that to people. And I guess just, you know, on the subject, kind of as we're closing out, it's like, I really love doing this podcast. And, you know, I am so thankful that I get to do it with two of my best friends on the whole planet. And I'm so glad that it is something people enjoy, and that, you know, it has meant something to people. And thank you for listening to us, because it, you know, I know we joke around on this podcast, we take the piss a lot, but it does mean a lot to all three of us. And, you know, Thank you guys for doing it with me.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Neve. I'm so glad we didn't get any like pissy fights this year.
Yeah.
But some people will be disappointed.
Yeah, no, I think this is the most civil it's ever been, and maybe that's because we're growing with each other on this podcast. Like even compared to when we were doing it in 2015, when we were just a couple little guys
Mhm.
on like an iPad, built-in microphone.
Yeah.
To where we are with the Patreon with proper equipment.
Fucking hell, yeah. Like, Jesus, the Patreon. None of us saw that being the success it is.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
year was wild for us. We launched the Patreon and we did not think it would be as successful as it was. Like, even just growing with each other, I think, is a big thing. I think we've learned to communicate better with each other and to talk
Definitely.
about why we like things with each other better.
And try out other games and media.
Yeah.
Just because one of us is like, hey, this is weird, you should check it out. It's kind of cool.
I don't know. I get a lot out of this podcast, and it's one of the. I think you guys were surprised at the start, but it's one of the things I've stuck with the longest.
Oh, Neve, I thought we'd get like 4 episodes out of you, Max.
Yeah.
I do not show up for things.
No.
But I show up for this all the time, and the reason I do is because I love it, and I love talking with Brian and John, and I love our friendship, and I love playing video games, and I love interacting with everyone who listens, and I love that people care about this.
Me too.
Mitri?
Guys, keep an eye on the YouTube channel for some stuff that hopefully coming up soon. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Mary Chrysler.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, wait, I've got to do one more Home Alone joke.
Go on.
Come after me, you horse's ass!
Have a good one, guys.
Hey guys, so this is John, and I'm recording this from my parents' spare room because as we were editing this podcast, we actually got this super, super cool thing. It is a mix track of basically a bunch of the things that the Boss cast love, and this might be the coolest thing we've ever gotten. So huge shout out to Johannes, and it just feels like a unbelievably appropriate way to end the year. So enjoy, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the new year.
やれやれだぜ。